All right, everyone, welcome to our All Out 2021 AEW predictions and preview. We're just gonna talk some wrestling because I don't get to enough. With most of my friends don't live near me, so we got Mike from Utah right now,
What's
and
up, guys?
we're gonna chat a little bit about All Out coming up tomorrow night.
Let's do it. I'm excited. So yeah, this is the first go around of the wrestling podcast. So who knows where this goes, but this should be fun.
Hell yeah. So let's start off with the elephant in the room. You were at AEW Rampage in
I was.
Chicago, which is
Yes.
you are the luckiest person that I know. And like a
Yes.
lot of people don't understand why that's important is because that was the day that CM Punk showed up for the first time in 7 years. Do you want to
Yes.
just talk about that and like
Oh, I'd love to.
how
Yeah.
you got there and like because you're
Yeah.
in Utah and you somehow got to Chicago on the one day of the year that in the last decade that
Yeah.
CM Punk was going to return. So yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and tell your story.
No, it's a fun one. And it was so last minute, but it was so awesome. To the point that like my long distance girl, I don't know if she's a girlfriend or what it is. It doesn't matter. That's a different podcast. She was like, "Why you're going to Chicago for a wrestling show?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, this is dude. This is like if the Beatles announced a new concert. I don't half of them are dead, but this is like if all of a sudden the Beatles were like rumored to come play Lollapalooza or some fucking festival, you know."
Yeah.
And then like even my brother's a big wrestling fan, and he was watching the whole thing with his girlfriend, and he was like, she was like, he flew out there for this, and he's like, yeah, this is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
So what happened was, so let me go do a quick backstory real quick, if you don't mind. I'm gonna
Yeah, go
ramble
ahead.
for a second. So I was a diehard wrestling fan when I was 1997 is when I got into it. So I was 6 years old. Sting was my guy. I fucking love Sting. I love Chris Jericho. Um, got into wrestling, was way into it until about 2001, 2002. And then I kind of fell out of it and never watched again. And then finally, like just some random night in like 2000, I don't remember what year, so forgive me.
All right.
But randomly, I was like, I want to check out Raw tonight. I'm gonna watch WWE Raw tonight. And I tune in, and I still kind of knew who the guys were, like the current ones. Like I knew who Batista was, John Cena, Randy Orton.
Yep.
And this show starts, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, let's see how wrestling's going. And I'm pretty sure it was the first segment. Batista comes out, he's the champion. And then this guy I've never heard of in my fucking life comes in with this briefcase I've never heard of in my fucking life called Money in the Bank. And it's CM Punk, and he's cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. I'm like, I don't know who this. He has a big Pepsi. I'm sure anyone's watching knows he's got the Pepsi tattoo. So I'm like, who's this fucking Pepsi guy? And he cashes in and wins. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. And so anyway, that got me back into wrestling with CM Punk. And then my best friend and now roommate was also a wrestling fan. And so then we just started like just both CM Punk fans, just following his, the summer of Punk, which didn't happen then. This was a couple years later.
Yeah.
With the Money in the Bank. So anyway, just like CM Punk is what got me back into wrestling. And then he left, obviously. I'm not going to tell all that. And then all of a sudden the rumors come out, a couple months ago that, Punk might be back along with someone else. And then, once it like, how like it was, like, I think Punk said it himself, it was the worst kept secret in wrestling, and they intended it to be that way.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm.
Yeah. And so like the more it just became obvious that he was going to be at this show at the United Center, my roommate his name's Kyle. So I keep saying my roommate. Kyle was like, he was already going on a golf trip with his dad in Wisconsin. They're playing all these sick golf courses in Wisconsin that same week, which is like a 4-hour drive from Chicago. And then randomly one night he's like, dude, I'm going to try and convince my dad to skip the last day of golf and drive to Chicago and go to All Out, or not All Out, sorry, Rampage, and see CM Punk come back. And I was like, fuck, dude, I'm so jealous. That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And then the wheels start turning, and then in my head, I'm like, what if I also flew out to Chicago? And then he's like, do it, dude. I'm like, I don't want to crash like your father-son trip,
Yeah.
But I'm like, what if I just go to Chicago and then we meet up and go to the show together? And he's like, fuck it, dude. Do it. I'm in. This is like 2 weeks before the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I've had a few whiskeys. I fucking book a flight. We haven't even bought tickets yet. I just book a flight. So it's like Thursday through Saturday.
Was it already sold out?
Yeah, we bought it on StubHub.
Oh,
no, no, Ticketmaster resale.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it sold out in like 4 minutes. So
Yeah. So we had to pay a little bit more, but I feel better about the price we paid. I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, next thing you know, it's like 1 a.m. I've had some whiskeys and I just booked this flight in a hotel. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking doing it. Like, I can't miss this. Like, we like every single AEW or WWE event. Have I not in our Instagram chat been like, I can't wait for CM Punk
every single time.
Every single
it's
time.
Like it's to the point where it was like annoying that like I knew it was gonna happen, so I just like wait for the message to come up in the Instagram chat. I'd be like, oh, CM Punk's returning tonight on Raw, like.
And so yeah, so I finally I was like, I gotta be there for this. I have to. This is the guy that got me back into wrestling. Like, that was such a good time in life for wrestling, in my opinion. Was the summer of Punk, the pipe bomb, the ice cream bars, all that. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And so booked the flight, booked the hotel. Kyle ends up buying the ticket too. His dad came. His dad doesn't even watch wrestling. But his dad.
I bet you he had a blast though.
No, he's down with it though. Like, he gets it. He just doesn't watch it, but he gets it. He's not like a hater. And so I fly out to Chicago. I've never traveled solo in my life, which might be sad to say as a 30-year-old man, but I traveled to Chicago. I get there like Thursday morning. I land at like noon, and I got to take 2 trains to my hotel, which I passed Punk's house, by the way.
Really?
And the only reason I knew that is because, not because I want to be stalking him, but like I was like, I'm gonna see like where in the city he lives, and I found his address, and it's like right on the train line. And there's a Crumble Cookie like right across the street from his apartment, which is significant because Crumble Cookie is a very conservative Mormon cookie company. It started here in Utah.
Yep.
So I'm driving on the train. I'm just like gazing out the window, and I see the Crumble Cookie. I'm like, oh shit.
That's awesome.
And then I get off the first train, and in the middle of waiting for the second train, the most like fucked up looking homeless guy I've ever seen in my life shows up. Like, I'm well traveled. I've been to big cities, and but this was the worst. Just like, he looked like, if you've seen The Wire, he looked like Frank Sabaka if he was 400 pounds.
Jesus.
And he's like, spare change, and I look at him, and he's got like snot like 8 inches hanging down. And I go, no man, I got nothing. And I put my headphones back on, and then next thing I know, he's seriously like 2 feet away from me, just pissing.
Nice. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Welcome to Chicago.
Yeah. By the way, like, Chicago was awesome. Don't discredit Chicago for that. So anyways, checking the hotel. Next day I go to a Cubs game, and this is the day. This is the day of Punk's return. They played Punk's theme song 3 times in this Cubs game.
I saw that. Somebody had posted the videos on Twitter, and I was like, damn, the Cubs are all about it.
I sent them too. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it's fucking CM Punk Day. Let's go.
Yeah.
And there's this vibe in the air. Like, I saw like 4 different guys in Punk shirts at the Cubs game. Yeah. I was like, hey man, nice shirt. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude. I'm like, you going tonight? And like, one of them was, the other 2 weren't.
Yeah.
But there was just this vibe. So anyway, I'm just like, alone for the first day and a half in Chicago. I meet up with Kyle, my roommate, and his dad at their hotel, which is like 3 blocks from me, like 90 minutes before the show. And it was just like this cool moment of like, we were both on these separate journeys and then came together to go to this. And so we immediately Uber there, and dude, it was electric. Like, I went to the Royal Rumble where Punk fought The Rock and lost the belt.
Yep.
That's probably the closest to like a big show I've been to in wrestling. And it was just insane. And like Punk said, it's so perfect where it's like, it's the worst kept secret in wrestling, but there's still that 1% of doubt.
Yeah, it's like 99% sure that he was going to be there. Like, I was like, oh, he's going to be there. But then, like, the start of that show when, like, Dynamite kicked off, or Rampage, the theme song came on, I was like, nah, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. But
that's what made it so perfect, is everyone was, like, sure, but unsure. Like, we were all nervous. Just because the WWE's trained us to be nervous. And that's the dig on WWE, is that
they would swerve.
They would hype something and then go the opposite way. Yeah.
Just for the cheap heat, like.
Yeah, or just because Vince woke up in a weird mood.
Yeah, exactly.
And
No more slapping legs.
yeah. And it was crazy. Like the whole section I was in, I had a bad seat for the ring, so I was right behind like the boom mic by the stage.
Yeah, I saw you from your video. It was
Yeah,
like it was kind of a bad angle, but it wasn't bad for the entrance.
right. And that's all I wanted to see. So like,
Yeah.
and the whole section was talking about that. We're like, we can't see the ring for shit. But like, we didn't come to Rampage to watch, Jungle Express wrestle whoever they. I don't remember who they
Yeah, the
wrestled
rest of
tonight.
the card
You know?
wasn't even on paper it wasn't great.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like I'm just here for this moment when he walks out of that tunnel right there that I'm right next to. So that's good,
Yeah, you had a
Right?
perfect view.
Yeah. And so it's like getting close, and the whole set, like we all became friends. Like the lady behind me was like, even like my buddy's dad that doesn't watch wrestling was like mingling with everybody. Like, yeah, you think he's gonna show up? And like, oh, I fucking hope so. I don't know. Dude, these maniacs sitting next to us, maniacs. I love them to death, but they were maniacs.
Yeah.
They switched seats like 4 times, just to help out the section. Like a kid showed up and they were like, "Hey, our view's slightly better with the boom mic. Like, we'll trade you seats." They drove from Pittsburgh. They went to the Pittsburgh show,
Yeah.
and they drove from Pittsburgh. They got there like an hour before the show, and they were driving home immediately after the show because they had work the next morning.
Jesus
So they're like,
Christ.
"We're going straight to work from here."
That's
in
insane.
Pittsburgh.
That's diehard like dedication.
Yeah. And so it was so fun because like Dark, it's weird. The show said it started at 7.
Yeah.
We got there like right at 7, and like a match had already ended. So like I think they started early.
Yeah, they usually once they started doing Dark and Dark Elevation, they started filming earlier. Like even though they have doors open, but they'll film like a match before doors open.
Okay.
And like they'll either enhancement talent or they'll do it to like to throw on an elevation show.
Yeah.
That's like a more recent thing because it wasn't like that when I went to the AEW show in KC.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that when I went to the Salt Lake show either.
Yeah.
Because I was like kind of bummed for a second, but then I was still like, I'm just here for Punk, like it's fine. But like, because I remember I sent you like a picture of when I was there, and it was like 6:50, and you were like, dude, it already started.
Yeah.
Like, what? It did? And then I forgot about the time change because I was like, oh, Dynamite airs at 9.
Yeah, it's 8 my time and 9 years or 9 there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was gonna start now, like Rampage was starting now earlier, but it was like 2 full hours of Dark, which is super fun to watch, especially when you're right behind the boom camera guy, because
yeah,
like you get to like see like all these production guys like doing their thing, which is like that video. I don't know if you watched
that video. Was awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Just insane. So I went to school for film and communications, and like we had like a studio like set up like that with all the screens and everything. And like my like 3rd or 4th class that I had, we had to like do all that counting and like swap between for an interview with somebody and like swap between cameras, and like everyone had to call it out. It's organized chaos is the best way to describe it. It's insane, and it's very hard to keep the time of like how many seconds to stay on somebody, and like it's crazy.
No, I love that because like I mean I didn't go to school for that or anything like that, but I've always loved like seeing like my favorite part about wrestling is how cool the behind the scenes shit is.
Yeah. I love like the stuff that happens in the ring, and I love the storylines, but like what intrigues me and like what keeps me like checking the news and like checking to see what happens is like all the behind the scenes and like the things that people don't see and the reasons for like I don't know, like Dark Side of the Ring is like one of my favorite things because it goes very in depth to like behind the scenes of wrestling, and that's the best part of it. Like the crazy there's more crazy shit that happens behind the scenes than happens in the ring.
Dude, have you seen I don't mean to get off topic, but have you seen the like what they're doing next season on Dark Side of the Ring?
They're doing the plane ride from hell.
Yeah,
which I'm so excited about because it's my favorite. It's my favorite story. Yeah, like I've heard it from like 8 different people like that have talked about it, like shoot interviews, and it is the most interesting, and it gets more ridiculous the more you hear about it. It's
like the guy that caught the fish this big and then this
exactly.
Big,
if it's anywhere, even if it's like not as crazy as they say it was still fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, I can't wait for that. Like I'm counting down the days for that episode.
Yeah.
And that's where wrestling's fun and unique is like it's the only business where it's like the behind the scenes shit is just as good, if not better, than what you actually watch.
Yeah, yeah. And like the people that don't understand that are like, I feel so bad because I'm like, there's so much crazy shit happening right now and you don't even know. Like,
yeah. No, it's funny. I always try to explain to my friends because like people that don't get it, you know, that's wrestling has such a bad stigma.
Yep.
Of like, oh, it's fake. It's fake.
Well, yeah.
It's like, no, you know
predetermined. It's not fake. Like people actually get hurt.
Yeah.
Like it's as real as like the Logan Paul boxing fight.
Yeah.
Like
and it's like, do they all die by the time they're 50?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to make that lightly, but like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
It's intense shit. And like, so the way I always try to explain it, I'm sorry, I'm going down like a side road here.
We'll get back to Punk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Wrestling is good because it's every form of entertainment like mixed into one.
Yep.
It's a rock concert, it's a fucking fireworks show, it's a drama, and it's athleticism. It's like every single form of entertainment that exists mixed into like one show.
Yeah, and it's live.
And it's
like
live.
that's what makes it like that, puts it on a whole nother level. Like it's all that and it's live, which is
like no, 100%. And that's why like even at like my biggest, like when I was like the most into wrestling, I would never watch tape shows.
Yeah.
Like I would get mad when it's like, oh, Raw's in Europe this week. Fuck. Nothing cool is gonna happen. Because when it's live, it's like you never know what's gonna happen. And
yeah, like Owen Hart died. Yeah. Like that was my first memory of like wrestling. Like when I, as far back as I can remember now, I'm sure I watched it before that, but like I remember watching that pay-per-view and like it blacked out. And I was like, what the hell happened? Like my mom finally bought me a pay-per-view and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
That was your first pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was the first one my mom had paid for. I had been to my friend's house and like watched like different ones prior to that. Like I can't remember which ones now. But like that pay-per-view, it sticks in my head because I remember like it blacked out. And like I don't remember, like I didn't remember seeing him fall or anything.
No, but there's no footage of it.
No, so like I was like, what the hell happened? And then the next day on the news, that's all I saw was like the reports of like him falling and passing. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't see it. Like what? I didn't understand. You know, I was too young. But like, I was like, oh my god, like wrestling's so real. Like that's what I was like. I was hooked. Like right there was like where the turning point was. Because before I was like, oh, these guys are cool. They're kind of. It was like when WWE was goofy. You know what I mean? Like their characters.
No, that's like right when they started getting good.
Yeah, it was like they started getting more real. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like right when they were starting to take over WCW.
Yep. Yeah, that's when like the tide was turning from WCW to WWF, and that's when I started getting into it, and like I watched it for a few years after that, and then like I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling after like later on when I was a teenager. Oh, really? Yeah, my dad wouldn't let me. So like I would go up to my room and I had a small TV and I would like turn on Raw and keep the volume down at like 1 or 2 and like just sit like this fucking close to it and like watch Raw, and like this is when like Vince and Stone Cold were having their rivalry, and like The Rock and when Rikishi did the
he did it for the Rock.
Yeah. Like there was like those episodes, you know, like late 90s, early 2000s, like, and then I forget when I stopped. It was probably like when it started getting more PG and like ECW like had happened, like the WWE version of ECW.
Yeah, Vince was champ.
Yeah. I was like, I can't. Yeah. Like, and I was a kid, like, and I was like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. Like, why am I watching this?
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, so we're the same age. Okay, cool. I was just curious for the timeline. So yeah, I think I stopped watching like literally a week before like Randy Orton, John Cena, and Lesnar showed up. I don't know when exactly they showed up, but like I was watching just like old Raws and stuff, and I realized like I quit watching like late 01 and like early 02 is when like all those guys came in.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I missed that entire era, but like. First of all, I just want to call you. I love that Owen Hart died. I don't mean to make light of this. Rest his soul.
Yeah, watch what you say.
That Owen Hart dying is what hooked you into wrestling.
Yeah, it was like, it was like bittersweet because it was like, holy shit, like this is like these people are really doing this stuff, because I didn't know why he died. I didn't know they fell from like the rafters. I just remember like the news reports were like, Owen Hart died in the ring, and I was like, he died in the ring. I was like, he didn't even get to the ring when I was watching the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea what happened. So like my brain went 1,000 miles a minute, like trying to think of like what could have happened. Like, did somebody kill him? Like, it got real, like for a few days for me. And I was like at school, like during recess, playing with my wrestling figures with my friends in our like plastic ring.
Yeah.
And I had like The Rock and Stone Cold, and I had like Brett, and I had Shawn Michaels, and I was like, my friend had Owen, and I was like, he died, and my friend was like, what are you talking about? He's not dead. But he had passed away like the week before, but he didn't watch the pay-per-view or see the news, and it was like, it was the only thing anyone was talking about, you know. But that's what
I remember that
got me in.
When did you like break kayfabe? Like when did you learn?
When
that
did
it
I
wasn't,
know
like,
it
real,
wasn't
you know?
real?
Yeah.
I think it was, when did Vince McMahon get blown up?
Dude, that was like 04. That was when Benoit died.
Okay, so that was before that. It was before that.
Dude, that was 07. Because it was they had to cancel the angle because the
because Benoit had to killed his family and killed himself. No, it was before that. I'm trying to think of like when I like knew it was. It was probably like shortly after the Benoit thing, I'm guessing, because like I don't know, it's just like I kind of always was like a skeptic. So like I was always like, when they'd like throw punches and kick the mat, like I'd be like, it's like that's a little, you know what I mean?
That's my favorite move, is when they kick the mat, when they jump.
Oh yeah, they jump and kick, and you're like, wait, what? You're not even leaving the ground, dude.
Yeah. But, no, dude, the reason why I asked is because I learned early. Like, I was like into it, thought it was real with the Sting angle. Like, I remember watching Starrcade '97 with that infamous Hogan Sting match.
Yeah, see, I was never a huge WCW guy. I never, because WWF was like, I caught it on the upswing.
Yeah. See, I started super young. So WCW was like my shit. Like, I'll always be a WCW guy. And then I remember, so there's that Starrcade, and then there was like the Wolf Pack. I don't want to go into like the whole storyline, but Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and I think Six, aka X-Pac.
Is that when
they were faces? This is after the NWO.
Okay,
this is like '98. They were the NWO Wolf Pack. So they were the good version of the NWO.
Oh, okay. This is when they started. Yeah, they started branching off.
Yeah, and then there was like a million NWOs. There was the LWO.
Yeah, they're gonna bring it back, dude.
And then Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Six turned heel on Goldberg, and they started tasing him.
I remember seeing that video. I didn't see that live, but I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, and I was crying. I was 7 years old. I was bawling because like I loved those three guys once they became good guys. I had a poster on my wall, and I remember I fucking tore it down and ripped it in half, crying. And then like,
that's
so
intense.
my brother was way into wrestling. I mean, I was 7. You know, it's not like
fair enough. Yeah.
My brother was way into wrestling. My dad didn't give a shit. My mom was worried it was making me violent, and my other brother didn't give a shit. So like, I was allowed to watch it basically. And then that's when they told me like, hey, you know, this is just it's like a TV show. It's scripted. And so I learned very young that it was an act, but I still loved it.
Yeah, it was just good entertainment.
Yeah. And then I jumped ship to WF when Jericho left.
Oh, and the countdown and the Raw entrance. Yeah, that was sick. Like
Jericho, Sting, and like Raven were like my 3 guys.
Dude, Raven was the shit. When I was like, it was so cool. Like I was like, that guy's a badass. Like, dude, I always want to be edgy like that. Yeah. And then they destroyed him. Like when he started out, I was like, that guy's the greatest thing that's happened to wrestling. Like it was my favorite. I was like, oh, I want to grow my hair out. Like I want to, you know what I mean? Like be brooding and like.
that guy should have had such a better career than he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a good run in WCW, but then, I mean, I guess
the hardcore stuff in WWE was like started off good, and then just after that it just fell off completely.
Yeah, I think until they brought back the 24/7 championship, he was like had the most title reigns in WF history or WWE history. I think it's R-Truth now, or I assume it is. I don't know.
R-Truth was talking shit about Punk.
Oh, I heard about that. What did he say?
He said like you were a nobody or irrelevant or something. Like you're still irrelevant I was like, damn, R-Truth's like talking shit when you're holding the 24/7 championship. Like I was like,
Dude,
how dare you?
Punk was the first guy
Like I
since The
love
Rock.
R-Truth, but
I
like
do too, yeah.
like
Go ahead.
that was completely uncalled for. Like it was like unprovoked
Yeah.
too. It was like Punk talk shit to him. He was just like, oh, who cares if Punk came back? He's irrelevant or something to that effect, you know?
I'll tell you, the fucking millions of people care that come. That
Oh
Punk
my
came back.
god. Well, the people that bought out all the goddamn t-shirts care.
Dude, I showed you that line, dude.
Yeah.
That was during the
Yeah.
the Lucha Bros and no, not Lucha Bros. It was Jurassic Express. No, it wasn't. Who are they fighting? I can't remember because I left to go buy a shirt.
Did you get one?
No.
Oh,
Dude, the
I
line
ordered mine
went
like a week
around the
ago.
entire arena. No, I'm gonna order one. I'm just not gonna get the I
Yeah.
was there one, which is fine. I don't like shirts
Yeah.
that have like logos on the back anyway.
Yeah, that would be a cool piece to have though, you know, that I was
Yeah,
I could print my own.
I just
I'm
wouldn't
just
wear it.
kidding. Yeah, just
Yeah, just
frame
print
it.
Anyway, what was I getting at? Lost my train of thought there. We'll wrap up with Raven. I'll go back to the show.
Okay, yeah.
Raven was the shit. And he was like, even at 7 or 8 years old, like I was like, this guy is unique. He's fucking awesome. Kidman too.
Oh yeah.
Before he was Billy Kidman, he was just Kidman.
Yeah, just Kidman.
Yeah.
Kind of an edgy psycho.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I say about R-Truth. It's like when Punk cut that pipe bomb, that was the first time since The Rock or Stone Cold that anybody in WWE did anything that was relevant to like mainstream media.
Yeah.
Like Punk went on like sport, like this is before like wrestling had like, you know, an ESPN deal and a Bleacher Report or anything like that. Like I remember Punk was on like the Jim Rome show. There was like headlines on like normal sites that aren't wrestling sites about like, yo, this guy just did this, you know? And so it's funny that people like disrespect that when it's like, dude, he changed big.
He changed the entire business.
Yeah, he did.
Like
100%.
Whether he wanted to or not. Like that's what happened.
Yeah, 100% he did. So anyway, so I fly to Chicago. I told her that I'm at this show, and just that crowd, it was just like so like everyone was so fucking excited, but then like a little bit just like nervous. Like, what if he doesn't come? And then like I remember like right when like you were saying, so before the show started, Tony Khan came out and cut a great promo of like, I've always wanted to run a show here, and I didn't want to do it unless it was going to be a good show and something special would happen. And I promise you tonight something special is going to happen. And that's when, you know, the crowd goes nuts. CM Punk chants go out. And then there's still like 5 minutes. You know, they have like the countdown.
Yep.
So it's like 5 minutes before Rampage starts. And it's just quiet in the arena. And everyone's just talking to each other like, dude, is he going to be here? And then not only that, but also like, do you think it's going to be at the start or the end? And I was on team, it's going to be at the end. I for some reason,
because you're programmed to think that way.
Yeah,
that's how WWE would have done it. They would have let the fans hijack the show, and they would have done it at the end, like for sure. Right.
No, 100%.
That's why I thought the same thing. I'm like, I would love for them to do it first, but I think they'll do it at the end because that's what a wrestling promotion does. Like, because that's the only thing I've ever known is like, waiting, like the anticipation.
So you can get more commercial breaks in.
Yeah, exactly. You get all those people watching right up until the last 2 minutes, and then you go, "Oh, he's here! All right, we're cutting off the feed." Like,
And now that I've like was there and watched it, and I've watched that entire episode like 20 times.
I've seen it like 4 or 5 times. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I watched it twice the next day. I was like, "Holy shit!" I get goosebumps every time I watch it. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, dude. I went back to my hotel. And I seriously probably watched the whole fucking thing like 7 times in a row, and then went to bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that like I've seen it, like it makes sense. Like, yeah, you got to do it at the start. Like, this is his show. You got to, you know, it's his show. You can't just like save it for the end. And so, you know, the whole crowd just chatting, and the music hits. Oh no! Before that, they started playing the Bulls theme. You know that.
I saw the video. I was like, well, that'll let everyone know he's here. Like,
once that started playing, I was like, oh shit, he's coming out now, and that's why I started filming. And so the show starts, and dude, just it was such a nervous excitement energy. It was insane, like goosebumps. Just like everyone just wanted this so bad, and they knew they were about to get it, but they still had that little bit of doubt. and then it happened. Like as soon as they showed the Chicago skyline, because like they had like the riff a little
Yeah.
different. It's not like the
Yeah.
a little bit different. And as soon as they showed that Chicago skyline, oh my god! And then it hit, and dude, we all just lost our minds, and it was so just magical. Like it was magical.
Yeah. From the fan videos and I've watched like every reaction video to like people watching at home, and like I wish
Yeah.
I had filmed a reaction video because I was sitting there and it was like, I don't know if you saw the Wrestle Talk reaction with Ollie Davis, and he's just sitting there and he's like covering his mouth. He's like, and it's just like a tear, just like a single tear. It's like that was me sitting on the couch, just like they fucking did it. They did it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
They made a perfect moment, which is like what more could you ask for in like any entertainment? I don't care, movies, concerts, film, like anything. Like they made a perfect moment.
Yeah. Dude, that's why wrestling is so special. Like AEW is good because like, AEW is consistently good every week.
Yeah.
Wrestling is so special because you can suffer through years of just shit, but you just know like there's gonna be a moment coming. You don't know when, but there's gonna be a moment
like
that coming. You know,
like Edge coming back or the Hardy Boys getting their big pop. Like like even though I hardly watched WWE at the time, like I watched those pay-per-views for that moment, and they know like people will tune in for that, like for WWE. Eventually, they're not gonna have enough people left to have anyone care. But
no, and
you know what I mean?
Because they keep relying on the same guys.
Yeah, like
oh fuck, Brock Lesnar's back for the.
I don't care anymore. I really I watched SummerSlam, and I
did too.
I had Brock showed up, and I was like, oh, he's back. Crap. He's gonna be a part timer. He's gonna do 6 episodes a year. Cool.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's back, and he looks weird.
Yeah, I was like, is he okay? Like, yeah, he did not look great. It looked like a trash bag.
Yeah, but that's the magic of wrestling, and WWE's, they're wasting it because they just refuse to like push more than 1 or 2 guys at a time. Whereas AEW, dude, there's like 15 guys in AEW that I'm like, yeah, they could be a champion tomorrow. It'd be fine.
I love it. I love the them using the young talent with the old talent, like Darby and Sting is one of the greatest examples of it. It's a perfect pairing, and it's like giving me the nostalgia and making me more interested. Like I'm more interested in Darby than I am Sting. Like like Sting's cool. He's gives me like a, oh, that's cool. I remember him. But like Darby is like, I want to see what he can do next. Like
no, and
even if he wasn't facing Punk, like I'd still be interested in him.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
That's what makes like AEW so different and special is that they treat Sting the way Sting should be treated.
Yeah.
Like you look at WWE, Goldberg comes back and has a title match, and the match sucks.
That match was god awful.
Yeah, and it's happened 10 times already. But then Sting in AEW, he's just a manager, and he's basically old Sting, like WCW Sting.
Yeah.
But he's not going out and fucking dominating everybody and winning matches. He's wrestled a couple times, but he's just Darby's manager, you know?
Yeah.
I like that. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I honestly thought they were going to screw up Sting because they had him on TV every week for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, crap. I was like, this is like the nostalgia starting to wear off. And I was like, I'm kind of getting sick of him. And then they took him off TV for like, I think 1 or 2 weeks. And then they brought him back. And then they started building to another feud. And then they had him wrestle, and then he wrestled, and it was a great match. And I was like, okay, put him on TV every fucking week. I was like, I don't even care anymore. I was like, I just fucking give me Sting, like,
yeah.
And he wasn't like my favorite growing up either. Like, he was just, he was interesting because like the NWO stuff and like the Kim coming back to WWE and the Seth Rollins buckle bomb thing. I didn't hear about that till later. I never watched it. But but like him coming back to wrestling was like enough to get me interested. And then the fact that the episode he came back on was one of the other greatest moments I've ever seen. Was that crowd fucking pop for Sting was insane.
Dude, okay, here's a perfect example of AEW and WWE.
Yeah.
So you didn't watch his WWE debut.
No.
They fucked it up so bad because he'd never, he was the biggest wrestler to never ever wrestle in WWE.
Yeah.
And instead of having him, like, they could have done the Punk thing where they, like, loosely tease it. They don't announce anything. He shows up. It's amazing. What they do instead is they released the game trailer for WWE 2K16 or 15 or whatever the fuck year it was, and Sting's the cover athlete for a
I
trailer for the
remember
game.
that. Yeah,
And it's like,
I wasn't
okay, so
watching
Sting's
WWE,
coming.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it was like yeah, people like lost their minds on the internet. They were like, why is Sting on the cover of like?
Yeah,
Is
and
that?
it was
Oh,
cool,
wait a
but it
minute.
was
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool, but it was also it just ruined like that should have been the biggest wrestling moment in history. Sting finally goes to WWE, and they ruined it on promoting their video game.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
that sums up WWE right there.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see just to get completely off topic, did you see the
Very good.
NXT logo?
Oh yeah, the fucking
It's
rainbow.
the new
shit.
Disney logo?
Yeah. I saw a thing that compared it to like the original AEW Splash logo.
It literally
I
it's the
probably saw it
same
from you.
colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't get it. I don't get.
I
how
didn't
they're
even like
so-
NXT, but I could appreciate what they were doing, and I went back and watched some of the takeovers that I missed, and
They
they
had
were
some
good.
ones.
They were really
Yeah.
good, and I was like, this is like, I would watch more of this, and now they're
Yeah.
like, nah, we want
Yeah.
people that don't know how to wrestle, and
Big guys.
yeah, but like 6'4"
want
and
big,
250.
Braun Strowman guys.
Yeah, and we got rid of Braun Strowman.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. Like I think Punk even said it. Like it's not hard to make wrestling good.
No, it's not. It's like just let them do what they want.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. So anyway, the Punk that dude. So last thing on the Punk show, just
All
where
right.
I was at,
Yeah,
because it was incredible. But like, dude, like being a Sting fan growing up, and like I remember like my earliest memories of Sting propelling from the rafters in that same arena. He actually, if you go back and watch it, there's an interview with him where he talks about how like the rope that he used on that, like when he came from the ceiling, like burned through his gloves, and he got like 3rd-degree burns
Oh shit.
or something like that, like coming down. And but it was at the United Center, like you see like the Bulls, championship rafter trophies or
Yeah.
the banners. And then so when Punk's cutting this promo that I'm losing my mind about, and then he calls out Darby Allin, and I'm like looking around like, okay, where is he? I fucking see him and Sting in the rafters
with the light
banners,
on him.
and I was like, oh my god, this is heaven right now. Like I'm seeing everything that I've ever loved about wrestling in one segment.
Yeah, it was
so
such
cool.
a moment. Like it was
Yeah.
just it was perfect. And I love the fact that like it came out later that like obviously he wasn't told what to say. He was just like, "Hey, mention that you're going to have a match with Darby at All Out."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, okay. I'll go cut this like perfect 20-minute promo."
Yeah.
About like why I left, why I came back, what was like, and then end it with, "Hey, I'm buying everyone ice cream bars. Have a good night."
Yeah.
I was like, fucking what more could you ask for?
Oh, I gotta tell that story real quick. Sidetrack.
All right.
The line where he goes, what was it? I had to leave, or I was sick and I wasn't gonna get better staying at the place that got me sick.
Yeah.
I'm butchering that, but it was like just so perfectly.
The place that got me
brilliant.
sick in the first place. Yeah.
Dude, the ice cream bars. I didn't tell you this. So we leave the show. I had forgotten about the ice cream bars at this point. And we leave the show, and I meet up with like my roommate Kyle and his dad. And Kyle's just eating his ice cream bar. I was like, "Did you get your ice cream bar?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, no, I didn't. I'm outside the arena now." I'm like, "Fuck, where was that? They were handing them out when you left." And I was like, "Dude, I didn't get one." And then so I'm like, "I have to get one." So I turn around and I go back in. As soon as I try to open the door, this big, huge, like 6'6" security guard's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
I'm like, oh.
And I turn and I'm like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I literally just left. I didn't get an ice cream bar. I need to get my ice cream. I got to get my ice cream bar."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You can't come back in. There's no re-entry." I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, I literally just left. I didn't get the ice cream bar." He's like, "How do I know that?" And I swear to God, because I was like, a little intoxicated at this point. And I just go,
Yeah.
like, I'm not fucking out here trying to steal ice cream bars. Like, it's not a fucking scam, dude. Like, I just left and didn't get my ice cream bar. And then he just like stares at me for a second. He's like, "Well, it's up to them." And then points to people handing out the ice cream bars. And they were just like 16-year-old kids,
Yeah. It was like staff, random staff.
At that point, I'm like, okay, I'm good. And it's like, it's up to them. And like, she kind of like turns and is like, "What's going on? There's an issue here." Because this guy was screaming at me.
Yeah.
And I just turn around and I go, "Hey, I didn't get an ice cream bar. I just left. I'm trying to come back in. All I want's my ice cream bar." And then she like stares at me for a second. She's like, "All right, here you go." And then she hits me, and I
saved your life.
I look back at this big muscly security guard, and I'm like, thanks, man. I wasn't trying to cause trouble. I needed this, you know? And then he didn't respond at all. He just kept staring at me, and I was like, all right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
He didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like any other security guard that was a wrestling fan would have been like, yeah, dude, go ahead.
Yeah. So this took a lot of effort to get.
Yeah. Hold on to it.
Yeah, no, I'm saving it. I'm mad that I like cut the corner of it.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But at least it's probably in better shape than most people's.
Yeah.
Like, because like
my roommates, like he like opened it like perfectly. Like it looks sealed still.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that like trying to sell the ice cream still frozen but kind of melted. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Like, how do they keep it frozen? Dude, it's so humid and hot there.
Yeah, I was like, your apartment must have been a block from like.
Yeah. Unless they lived like right there. There's no way.
Man.
Dude, it was good ice cream though.
Yeah, it was apparently that place. I don't know if you saw there's a Sports Illustrated or ESPN article about like Punk's return. I don't know if you read that, but it was like
I did actually. Yeah,
he bought the like. He asked him like 2 years in advance to make the ice cream bar. I was just like, holy shit! This guy was planning something. Like he probably didn't know whether he was going to go back to WWE or AEW, but
I kind of feel like that he knew he was going to go to AEW.
Yeah, he's been talking to Tony for 2 years.
Yeah,
like
I kind of feel like if the pandemic didn't happen, he would have shown up a lot earlier. Like it was like set in stone. And then COVID hit, and it was like, okay, let's pause this for a minute.
Yeah,
that's been about 2 years now, so I feel like the timeline makes sense of like.
Yeah, he probably would have been at a different pay-per-view, but I think the Chicago would have been. I thought he was going to be at the first All Out.
Yeah, which I'm glad he didn't. Like I remember like when AEW debuted, and I was like, dude, if Punk shows up, and like there was rumors, not the first show, the first like. What was it? All In? The first event.
Oh yeah. All In was like
started,
before.
It's like
AEW was a thing. Yeah.
And I remember I was like, there was hype about it, and I thought he could show up, and I wanted him to. And now that like looking back on it, I'm so glad he didn't, because it's so much better now that the company is like launched off the ground. There's storylines already. There's we know all the
proven.
characters. Yeah, it's way better that way, because like. If you have him debut at that, then it just becomes about Punk and not, hey, this is the start of this new company. You can't have the attention on both.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, now he's just a player, like, which is cool. And like, I'm sure we'll get into it later when we do the predictions, but like, there's other people that they could bring in, and it's insane that like, I don't care that they're ex WWE, but they're not. Like, they're not ex WWE. They're ex PWG. They're ex Ring of Honor. They're ex, like...
Yeah.
It's, like, everyone's like, oh, it's ex WWE guys. Everyone's an ex... I was like, it's like 10% of the roster is ex WWE. Like, it's not that big. Even if it was 50%, WWE had all the best wrestlers in the world for, like, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because... That's my least favorite argument in wrestling history, where it's like, oh, this is a former WWE guy or whatever. It's like, it's a wrestler. Like, you don't say LeBron's a former Cavalier.
Exactly.
Like, oh, the Lakers just got a former Cavalier. It's like, no, they got a good basketball player.
Yeah.
AEW got a good wrestler,
Yeah.
It's I hate that argument so much. Oh, they're just getting all these old WWE guys. Like, yeah, but they're good.
Yeah, like, they're not being used correctly in your company. Yeah. Like, what, do you blame them?
Yeah. And it's like, that's any profession. I've worked in, for example, I've worked in golf my whole life. I'm now in my 4th different golf company.
Yeah.
And like, they're not hiring me, and then people are going like, oh, that's an ex-Callaway guy.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just a guy that works in golf. It's the dumbest, like, that's like every WWE guy's argument is like, oh, they're just hiring old washed up WWE guys. And they're not. Like, I mean, yeah, you could argue that with Big Show and Mark Henry.
But they were using their name. They weren't really using them. Like, Big Show may wrestle, or well, Tall Paul may wrestle on the pay-per-view. I don't think he's going to, but
I want to get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, he might. But like, I think they want him for his philanthropy. Like, they want him for talking to different charities, because he works with a shit ton of charities. And he does a lot of like work outside of wrestling, like TV shows, and he has
totally.
So like, I think that's why they got those names into help behind the scenes as like coaches and like how to deal with like balancing wrestling and life and stuff, which I like how they use like Dean Malenko and like, because you never see him, like you hardly ever see him, but like he's
like
there.
one segment, I think.
Yeah, he was on TV like
the
once or two. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But like I love that they're okay with keeping him off TV. You know what I mean? Like WWE would push them down your throat.
No, yeah, exactly. That's why WWE sucks, is because
Goldberg's still on fucking TV.
Like every single talent on the roster, they try to squeeze into the show, where it's like it's okay to not see Pac or Kenny Omega for a couple weeks, or whoever for a couple of weeks. It makes it better, in my opinion.
They still get a shit ton of people on the show. Like on Dynamite, you'll see 60, 70 people. Like on one episode of Dynamite, which is insane.
But it doesn't feel forced.
It's not like crowded in. I mean, sometimes they don't let stuff breathe, which I think they need to do more. It's like when somebody gets a big victory, they need to like keep the camera on them and not swap over to an interview with Tony Schiavone backstage. They do that a lot, and like that can be fixed very easily. But like I think overall they're doing a great job of like getting you invested in the younger people, but also using the older people either behind the scenes or like on the big stage to enhance them and not overshadow them. Like WWE would be like, here's this big star that was a big star 20 years ago. Like, you need to be a fan of his. Like, no, I don't care about him anymore.
WWE is like every week at 40 minutes into the show, come back from commercial. Well, it's the big show.
You're like, wait, why?
Okay, here's the big show segment for no reason, where he's gonna fight Sheamus for the 10th time.
Yeah, I love Sheamus, but
you a Sheamus guy?
I like him when he has like a match where you can tell he just doesn't give a fuck. Okay, he just beats the shit out of somebody. Like, I'm a big fan of that, but they use him so badly on SmackDown and Raw, like over the last like 5 years.
I hated Sheamus. You didn't watch this time. I hated Sheamus because he came from WWE ECW to Raw and immediately was the #1 contender for the title. And I think he won against Cena in a tables match. And I was like, who the fuck's this fucking weirdo? And it was just like, it just seems so forced, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say this. He did win me over So the nice thing about living in Utah is we get house shows only for the most part.
Yeah.
We get Raw like once every 9 years. But we get house shows and no one gives a shit about wrestling in Utah. So like every time it's here, I get like front row seats. Like, like sign guy, or not sign guy, like who's that idiot?
Brock Lesnar guy?
Yeah, I hate that guy.
I can't stand him.
I get like his seats.
Yeah.
When they come here for house shows. And the first one I went to when I got back into it, when Sheamus came out, I was shocked. I was like, this guy's huge. I didn't realize how big he was. And
yeah,
then,
he's a big boy.
Yeah, and he played the crowd well and was good, and I was like, okay, I like this guy now. There's a lot of guys that like I hated until I saw them live, and I was like, okay, I get it now,
Yeah.
But he was definitely the main one. And then, did you ever watch Edge and Christian's show on the WWE Network?
No, I didn't.
Okay, he was actually really funny on that.
I wasn't a big network guy for a long time until the Monday Night Wars stuff that I found out that was on there, and then I was like, hell yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah, that stuff was good. If you have a subscription,
I have Peacock.
It's worth watching the Edge and Christian show.
I'll check.
There's a lot of really shitty sketches. It's like SNL, but wrestling.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of really like bad ones, but like once an episode, there's one that's just like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. So, check that one out. We need to get back on topic. We're just
I know, yeah. Now you made me want to talk about Christian because I like that everyone like when he first debuted in AEW, like everyone was like, oh, he's not a big star because they built him up like huge, and then like it was kind of a letdown. Everyone thought it was gonna be Punk or like Brock Lesnar, or like, you know what I mean, like somebody that like you would never expect, and it was Christian, and everyone was like, that would have been cool if it wasn't as hyped up as it was, and I felt so bad for them because it's a great signing. I didn't think he'd do well in the ring, and then he did well in the ring.
He's doing good,
and I was like, okay. I was like, I like this. Like, if I had known he was going to be this good, that hyped up, I would have been like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, because, like, I remember they did. Like, that's to give AEW fault, because I don't want to be, like, team this or team that. Like,
yeah, like I like what they
mistakes,
I like what they do, but, like, they have their issues as well. Like,
yeah. And that was definitely one because I remember I was like, oh, big announcement, big signing, you know, like who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
And I've always liked Christian, but then I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought he was like Edge and Christian, like that TLC match, which is like one of the greatest TLC matches ever, with the Dudley Boys and
the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys. I remember watching that live, and I was like, how the fuck do these guys put themselves through all that? Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised he was even able to come back. Same thing with Edge. Like, I never thought he'd come back. That's insane. And like, good for them. And good for Christian for having a fucking, or Daniel Bryan. I never thought I'd see him again.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of wrestling at the time that Daniel Bryan had the Yes movement and all that. So I never saw that live. I saw it later through like vignettes and videos and stuff. I wasn't ever a huge fan of Daniel Bryan. The times that I was watching was when he was like the Eco champion. And he was like, it's like,
good.
It was good shit, I was like, this is annoying, but I like him. Like, it's like, I like how heelish he is. He's making me hate him without making me want to turn the channel. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. That was like the final like months I watched WWE was the Echo champion. I hated him. Sorry, what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, did you hear what he had said after the last the WrestleMania match where he was in the 3-way with Roman and Edge? He said in an interview, he was like, I don't know why I was in that match. He's like, I woke up. He's like, I woke up one day. Like, he did an interview. I think it was like ESPN or like some big network, and he was like, yeah, I need to step away from wrestling for a while because I have no idea why I was even involved in what I was just involved in. And he's apparently came to that realization while he was in the middle of the ring. Like, he was in the match, and he's like, I don't know why I'm fighting either of these two guys. It doesn't make sense for my character. It doesn't make sense for me. Like, and then he hasn't gone back to wrestling since. And I was like,
dude, I thought the same. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, I literally, when I saw that he was added to it, like, it's a 3-way now. I was like, wait, why? Yeah. I was like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it made no sense at all. But
yeah, because like I wasn't watching WWE at all at that point. But I'll still watch WrestleMania. I'll watch the big four, you know. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Rumble,
Survivor Series,
and Money in the Bank. So
Money in the Bank's kind
of Money in the Bank's always fun.
Yeah.
And I remember like I was like, why? Like that same thing. I was like, why is Daniel Bryan in this match? Like, it makes no sense. This is supposed to be like Edge's story, and all of a sudden Daniel Bryan's there.
Yeah, it had no. Yeah. It was no basis in reality for like what was going on, and I was like, so I forget. My friend Joe is like a big WWE guy, or he was. Now he's an AEW guy apparently over the last since Punk came back, basically. But he watches everything WWE. He'll watch everything AEW, and he was like, dude, did you hear like Daniel Bryan's gonna be in the WrestleMania match with Edge and wait, who else was in it? It was
Roman Reigns.
Roman and Edge. And he's like Roman and Edge and Daniel Bryan, and I'm like, wait, well, why? And he was like, I don't know. He just messaged me back, I don't know, ... And then he like, it took him a while to think about it. He's like, dude, that really got me thinking. Like, why is Daniel Bryan in this match? He's like, I'm just so programmed to like believe in what WWE has told me is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And then he was like, this kind of sucks. So we watched WrestleMania. Like, I watched it. I watched it with him. I was at his house. And he was like, that was a great match, but I don't know why there was 3 guys in the ring. Like, I was like, I don't know either, man.
Yeah. No, totally. Dude, when Daniel Bryan first showed up is when I still lived at home. My brother still lived at home. And so we would watch it together, and we fucking hated Daniel Bryan. Like, this is the stupidest character of all time. Then he choked out Justin Roberts and got fired.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, good. He's gone. You're like, fuck that guy.
Everyone's saying he should come back and choke Justin Roberts with his tie. And I was like, yes.
And then he came back a few months later, and I was like, oh, fuck this guy. And then, like, I just kept watching him. Like, this is how good he is that I fucking hated him. My brother hated him. And then just, like, slowly every week, I was like, I mean, that was kind of funny, or that was kind of cool. And then, like, once he teamed with Kane, I'm sad you didn't watch that. Team Hell No was
Team Hell No. I've seen like the Raws from that like a few weeks, and it was great.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, okay, I get this guy now. I like this guy. And then the Yes Movement was incredible because he was like the Punk replacement. Because it was like the Yes Movement started right when Punk left, and then like you saw how much the crowd loved him and how they weren't gonna have him, like, because they really weren't gonna have him in that main event.
Yeah.
But the crowd just hijacked it so much because they were bitter about Punk leaving. They're like, okay, this is our new guy.
Yeah.
And then WWE like had no choice. Like, all right, fine, fuck it, we'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
Because it was just weeks and weeks. Like, dude, when he turned on the Wyatts, I'm sure you've seen that.
Oh, yep.
Oh my god, dude. Even though I was at the Punk return, that still might be the loudest I've ever heard a crowd on TV watching Brian turn on the Wyatts.
Yeah, that was such a good, like, it just came across so well on TV.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like, that was intense. And I love the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
Like, when they were, not when they were like the goofy Wyatt family. I mean, like, when they were like the swamp hillbilly cult.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, it was so good. The music, the fucking fans with their flashlights, the entrance, like, you could have done so much with that. Like, it didn't have to be what it was, what happened to it later. Even with Braun Strowman, like, he put on the sheep's, like, I would have had more people join and like make it a bigger faction and like slowly take over like the locker room, and it could have been, there's so much they could have done with it. Like, they could have done a lot of cult stuff, which is like, I'm always down for a good cult. Like,
oh yeah, I agree.
Like, it could have been, you could have kept the realism in there, and I think Bray is smart enough that like he could have came up with some great creative for that. And I'm just surprised with how quickly they ruined a great thing with
Dude,
that.
They ruined Bray Wyatt 4 times.
Yeah, like, he started off strong on every single reiteration of himself, and they destroyed it.
With him losing to Randy Orton every time. No, like, that's what's funny is I've never been a huge Bray Wyatt fan, but not because of him at all.
Yeah.
It's just because like every single time, like that dude is. I'm excited. Like, I hope he does go to AEW. I'm sure he will.
I hope he goes somewhere where he has the freedom to fucking like it. I get like not letting him go free and like write whatever he wants or whatever, but like at least give him the fucking option to do his idea of what wrestling is, because it's so good.
Yeah, like you can just tell, like, and this is what I mean. Like, I've never been a big fan of his just because his storylines have never been good, in my opinion. But you can tell that guy is so brilliant and has such a good mind for wrestling. And if he actually could just, like you said, control his shit, you know, his storyline or just his character, like, that dude could be. To me, he's Raven.
Yeah.
To circle back to that, like. If he just gets the chance to be himself, like, how many times was he repackaged in WWE? He was Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt, then like funny Bray Wyatt, and then the Fiend, and like he made it all work.
That Hell in a Cell, dude, I'll never forget. I watched that. It was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my life.
Is that the one that ended in no decision or something?
Yeah, a Hell in a Cell and a no decision with a giant hammer. It's like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. I was so mad. Like, I hadn't watched, like I said, I only watched like the pay-per-views like with my friend.
Yeah.
I was so infuriated that I had sat through that whole fucking pay-per-view to watch that happen. And like the red fucking lights on the cage where you could barely see anything, and I was just like, I've never been so mad at TV in my life. I was so frustrated.
I'm glad I didn't actually watch that pay-per-view, but I saw, I've seen it since then, you know, but like, or the clips, but yeah, like, I just don't get, like, how did they not make me love Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, it was so easy to like, just
because like I said, like, I never got into him, but it's not because of him. It's because of what they did with him that I could never get into him.
Yeah, like, you'd be like, oh, that's a hint of something I'd like to see.
Yeah,
and then they would fucking destroy it.
Yeah, like, I could see it. Like, every time I was like, okay, this could go somewhere, and then it wouldn't. Like, all right.
You're like, oh, there's a cult, and he has 2 big guys as like his heaters that fucking big bullies, and like they will try to recruit people, and like I could deal with that. Yeah. And then they'd fuck it up. and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, he's a fucking half demon. Like he like
they
he
do the
has split
Fiend thing,
personalities. Okay, well, let's see where this goes, and then they fuck that up.
and then they're like, oh, yeah, let's see where this goes. Actually, you know what? Let's just hand this off to Alexa Bliss.
Let's make
No,
it let's make it a
against her. I
kids
think
show,
she's
and
good
then
too.
hand it off to a girl in a that's supposed to be a child, that's supposed to be a girl, that's borderline really creepy. like
And
I don't want to be
like,
watching that
I
as
don't
an
even know
adult.
like that whole like storyline because like I don't watch either, but like
I don't either, but it's
like I
weird.
remember I liked Alexa Bliss when she was just Alexa Bliss, but then everything I've seen of her being Bray Wyatt Jr. or the
Yeah.
Fiend Jr., I'm like, this is dumb.
I was a big fan of Alexa when she was just wrestling and she was like going after it with like Bailey and Sasha Banks, and I was like, they're putting on good matches, like it was fun, and like she was a baby face at the time, and I was like, I could get behind her, like that'd be awesome. And then they gave her the Fiend gimmick, and they gave her a doll that like was very badly animated, and
a swing set.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't fucking. And they like did like paranormal shit with her, and I was like, I could deal with paranormal shit, but you gotta make me believe it could happen.
Yeah,
like you can't just do random shit. Like I'll suspend my disbelief. Like I don't care. Undertaker, like all day. You make him put some lightning in some guy's ass, like I'm there. Let's go.
Lightning in some guy's ass.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't mind when wrestling gets ridiculous. Half the time, that's when it's at its peak.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Stadium Stampede is the best example.
It was amazing. Like
that's like one of my top 3 favorite matches of all time.
It was just so entertaining.
Yeah, and then to give WWE credit, like I thought the Cena Fiend match was good.
Yeah.
Same with the Undertaker Styles match at that COVID WrestleMania where they did the pre-shot matches where it was lunacy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I really thought that Fiend Cena match was incredible. A lot of people shit on it, but like
the one where he like
so far out there.
He went through like the NWO Cena and the it was great. It was great, and I was like, this is about as far as my disbelief will suspend. Like you can do all this. You can go back in time and have all these gimmicks.
I was like fully back on board with WWE after the Styles Undertaker match.
The Boneyard match?
Yeah, the Boneyard match where he killed Luke Gallows.
Thank God.
And then the Cena match. I was like back on board. I'm like, okay, they nailed that. Like for the pandemic, no crowd. You do the cinematic matches, like those were great. And then I watched Stadium Stampede. And I was like,
and you're like, oh, they did it better.
Yeah,
you're like, oh no, this is what a cinematic match should be. Like, I like the Hardy. Was it? I forget what match it was. It was like the AEW version of the deletion.
Yeah. Who did he fight? I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think of who he fought, but it was such a
Gangrel.
Yeah, it was like Gangrel came out of like the Pond of Restoration or whatever the fuck it is, and like, oh, it was so good. I was like, this Hurricane Helms like came out like, oh, I was like, I was like, holy fuck, this is good. I forget who he was fighting. The best friends.
I can't remember at all.
No,
it wasn't. No, because Hardy was a face at the time.
Yeah,
best friend's always been a face. It was God. Who the fuck was it? Dude, I gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, and the Elite Deletion. Yeah, is that Full Gear?
Yeah.
A chair shot to the back of the head before the pin. Yeah, that was.
And they were like shooting.
There was having. I used to do that when I was like 12 years old. I used to shoot Roman candles at each other. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. They're running through the woods, like, and they had all those great cameos. I was like, this is fucking. This is great. And they beat the hell out of each other at the end. They like threw each other on concrete. I thought Matt died. Like it's like back at the concrete. I was like, well.
Oh, that's a different match. That's when he fought him at.
No. I'm talking about like they. I know what you're talking about. That was at All Out. That was at the second All Out. Where
he fell off the scaffolding. Or whatever.
Yeah. He did the spot that basically Kenny did like 2 weeks prior, and he fucked it up and slapped his head off the concrete. It was like I could still go. Like he clearly couldn't go.
No, I know. I can't believe they finished that match. I still can't believe that.
Yeah, that climbing up the scaffolding at the end, I was like, oh, please don't tell me they're gonna make Matt take another bump. Like he's not there anymore. Matt's not there.
They were on a crane the first time. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember. So when there's like a big pay-per-view, because none of my friends like wrestling, but they
Yeah.
know that me and Kyle like wrestling. So like they'll come over for it and they'll get into it. Like
yeah, just for the pay-per-view, just to like
It's like, all right, yeah, we'll check it out. And I remember when he fell, all my friends that didn't watch wrestling were like, oh fuck, dude, he just died. And I was like, nah, it's part of the show. It's good. It's fine.
No, it's good. It's like he gets up and he's like,
he's selling it. And then they showed the replay and I was like,
he's not selling that.
Oh shit.
His head was like
no, it was seriously, yeah, it was like,
yeah. And then his wife was on Twitter like, oh my god, I'm so upset. But I was like, you can't be mad. He did it. Like it wasn't like somebody pushed him. Like he jumped.
He fucked it up.
Yeah. Like how are you gonna get mad at? She was like mad at AEW. I was like, how are you gonna get mad at the company?
Yeah.
I was like, they just gave him the opportunity and he fucked it up.
That was nuts. And once I realized like, oh no, he actually hit his head on cement.
Yeah. They played the replay and I was like, don't play that again.
Yeah.
And it's like it makes me uncomfortable.
Like,
yeah.
So like to like give a dig, because like, I don't want to be biased. Like I'm not that guy that's like, you know, like consider like one side of the same with politics. I think it's stupid to just be like, I'm on this team no matter what, and everything they do is great.
Yeah.
To give a knock on AEW, I cannot believe they restarted that match.
Yeah,
they did play it safe after that, other than climbing the scaffolding. But
like, yeah, it's not like they made him take a bump or anything. They threw Sammy off the scaffolding, which is like, all right.
Yeah.
They wanted the finish, and I think it was more Matt than it was like the doctors. I think the doctors were like, "Are you good? Can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't care. We're finishing this fucking Matt." Like
I'm good, brother.
Let
me finish.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Matt fucking Hardy. Like, like I've been through worse.
Yeah. That was nuts to watch.
Yeah, that took the wind out of me for the rest of that pay-per-view. I was like,
same here.
Yeah, I was like, I can't watch that, even though it was a good pay-per-view.
I don't think it was their best. That was the same one as like the like orange juice hot tub match.
Yep. Yeah.
Which I didn't think was that good.
No, I thought it was cool that Chris Jericho was given the rub to Cassidy, but like
for sure, yeah.
I think it could have been done a lot better than a gimmick match like that. Like I think it could have been a one-on-one match where he just whooped like Chris Jericho's ass. Gimmicky, yeah. That fucking was it
and
a little
bit hyped for it beforehand. I was like, oh dude, fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Orange juice hot tub match or whatever. What was it called?
It's like a little bit of the bubbly or something.
Fucking, what is champagne?
Mimosa.
Yeah, mimosa. Yeah,
Mimosa Mayhem. That's what it was called.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was an interesting pay-per-view though. And then the other one that I was so hyped for was like Revolution with the exploding barbed wire death match.
Oh fuck! Don't remind me of that,
dude. Yeah, great pay-per-view all the way through.
Until then,
even that match was great. Like if you watch the match without the ending, it's fucking it's fantastic. Yeah. Like Jon Moxley like kicking the ropes to make the fucking thing explode to get Kenny out. Like it was perfect. If that explosion goes off, that goes down as one of the best pay-per-views they've ever had.
Yeah.
But because it didn't, like if you look at every other like match on that card, it was great. And all the matches were great. I was still hyped all the way up until the barbed wire match. Like I was literally every match got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And the fact that pyrotechnics crew fucked that up. Yeah. Tony apparently, like Tony Khan apparently was fucking furious. And like was backstage like losing his shit. Like he's like, I paid good fucking money for this.
And he seems like the night, like I mean he's a billionaire, so he's probably not that nice, but
he
seems like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, he just seems like he's very understanding. And like if you piss him off, like I mean you did cost him a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Like by
I guess he's not a billionaire, he's the son of a billionaire, but
yeah, eventually he will be.
He seems very humble and like
down to earth.
A nice, down to earth, nice guy for being a billionaire. But like, yeah, I heard that same thing that he was furious and like he had every right to be.
It was they ruined a whole pay-per-view just with that. And I was like, God, I was like, why couldn't? Okay, so they should have had a backup. If it doesn't go off, they come out and laugh. Yeah. And go, ha, I got you, blah, 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 just to get the heel heat. But like they kind of did, they kind of didn't. And I was like, you fucked up. It's like you fucked it up.
They did recover well though.
Yeah,
Because then you got the next Wednesday the Moxley Kingston promo.
Exactly. And and they were sitting at the fireplace.
Yeah, they were brilliant in that promo. It was like, okay, good.
Made me completely forget about it. Yeah.
No, same here. Same here.
Yeah. That's what AEW is good at, is like, we made a mistake, we're gonna correct it next week. Like that's their thing. It's like, hey, we're learning. We're a new company. We're only 2 years old. Like, give us a break. We'll fix it. And then they fix it. And I'm like, oh, okay, all's forgiven.
Yeah, can you imagine if that happened in WWE? Moxley and Kingston, that next Monday on Raw, they would have a new gimmick where they're scared of any loud sound.
Yeah. They would have been like earplugs and like
And then like anytime there's like boom, they're like, oh.
Yeah, they're just like backstage, like tripping over shit, like jumping around because people are like, R-Truth would come with the 24/7 championship and sneak up on them, and they get scared and.
Or like they'd have a tag team match, and the opponents would come out and there'd be pyro, and they'd like fucking run out of the building.
Yeah, be like, can they coexist?
Yeah, but no, they handled it so well that despite how shitty that moment was, like it's okay, you know.
That next week, I was like, all right, I just want to see Moxley and Eddie Kingston in a buddy cop movie. I was like, that's all I want. I was like, I don't give a shit about the pay-per-view. Because
I wasn't even that into Eddie Kingston when he was like against Moxley.
Oh yeah.
And then once they cut that promo together after that shit show, I was like, all right, I'm back in. I'm back in. This is good.
Are you gonna get the D's Nuts t-shirt? Did you see they came out with it? Redeem these nuts.
I would, but I could never wear that in public.
I couldn't either, but it's such a good shirt.
Yeah. Dude, I used to have a Ron Simmons shirt that just said "damn."
Damn.
But same thing. Like, it's like I
missed
can't
the
wear
APA.
this in public. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's get back to All Elite.
Yeah, let's. All right. Now that we've gone on a tangent for the last hour and a half.
No, this is good. This is good.
Yeah. No, this is It's been fun. All right. Let's start with. Let's see. Since I don't have a graphic for it, I have a graphic for everything else that's gonna come up. We'll start with. We're not gonna start with the buy-in. We'll start with the 21 women's casino battle royale.
Okay.
So the entrants are Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Jade Cargill, Anna Jay, Riho, The Bunny, Big Swole, Tay Conti, Hikaru Shida, Red Velvet, Julia Hart, who actually just got scratched. Julia Hart's no longer in it.
Got, like, kayfabe injured.
Yeah. I think she actually got really injured, but they're playing it off as kayfabe because on Dark I watched earlier, she did a move and it looked like her knee buckled, and then later they had a beat down angle to like write her off TV for a minute.
Yeah.
So then we have Diamante, Emi Sakura, Kira Hogan, Abaddon, Layla Hirsch, Kylan King, Jamie Hayter, Rebel, and Sky Blue in replace of Julia Hart, who's a Chicago native, and Tony gave her the opportunity to get on the Battle Royale tonight at Dark. So, and then that leaves one mystery opponent. Do you want to speculate?
Okay, so I was gonna ask, like, how many names did you mention there? Like, did that
That's
cover
20
names?
That's 20.
That is 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
because I was hoping that the Iconics would show up.
That's what I was thinking too. But then they announced 20, and I was like, maybe the Iconics show up later in the card.
Yeah,
with the Britt Baker match.
So first of all, I'm the world's biggest Iconics fan.
I think they were such a good duo. Like together, they were great.
It's just like the perfect comedy team.
Yep.
And so I was hoping that you would say like, oh no, that's only like 16 names, you know?
No.
Instead of 20. Because they come out in groups, so I thought like, the third group would be like, this person, then the Iconics. Because I like, of all women wrestlers besides Ruby, I want her in AEW, or those two in AEW.
Yeah.
I think they're phenomenal. I think they are just classic entertainment.
I think they could do so much with them, and I think the AEW women's division definitely needs a boost. Britt's great. I think Kris Statlander's great. I think Anna Jay, she's been out, but I think she could be good with the Dark Order like behind her, kind of like in that role. I think Tay Conti's fantastic, and I think she gets better every time I see her wrestle. I can't believe that NXT let her go, because even when she first started, she was like very good. I think Big Swole, I know she has some like health issues, and that's why she's not on TV a lot. She has like like a chronic pain disease. So she's
Really?
like
I
always,
didn't
she
know
has
that.
Crohn's, I think.
Oh shit, Crohn's is
Um,
nasty. I have buddies that
yeah,
dated a girl with Crohn's. It's yeah, it's not pretty.
yeah. So like she that's why she like people are always like, why is she not on TV? And I'm like, well, she's probably in a lot of pain. Like that's
Yeah,
what she's dealing
yeah,
with. And I'm like, I'm surprised that like a company like AEW gave her a contract because like that's a liability. You know, like it sucks
yeah.
to say, but at least they're giving her a shot. I think Thunder Rosa is fucking fantastic.
Oh, Thunder Rosa's
Um,
amazing.
but they need
Thunder Rosa, one of her and Britt are like my two favorite in the women's division.
yeah. When their lights out match was fucking phenomenal. That was on Dynamite.
Yeah,
I can't believe they let him take the thumbtack spot, and I thought it was fucking great because it added so much to the match. I think they need to do better. Like they have great programs between the girls, but I think they need to do just more drawn out and more substance to the storylines. They just don't have any like long term. Like AEW is great for long term booking, but
yeah.
I know they're gonna book Britt versus Thunder Rosa for a championship shot in the future. Either one of them is gonna have the belt. I don't know who, but
Yeah.
I want them to have more like sub storylines, like just things that are happening behind the scenes that could lead to bigger things like later on down the road. I think that would help them a lot. And the women's matches are some of the most watched women's matches. Like there's some of the most watched segments on the show, like according to the ratings, which
Yeah.
I think they really need to lean into a little bit more. But I do understand why they don't, because a lot of their women are newer wrestlers. So, like, I get not having the confidence to put them on TV for more than like 10, 12 minutes. But I think they need to start after this pay-per-view is like start building a women's storyline between a few different women, or maybe make some factions or like tag teams. They need to expand somehow. But I'm
They've
definitely
definitely
interested in it.
they've definitely gotten better because like that was like my biggest AEW complaint is that they really, and I think a lot of it was COVID because they were gonna bring in a bunch of like Japanese and Chinese wrestlers.
Yeah, they had a bunch of Joshi wrestlers.
Yeah, Joshi, that's what it is. Yeah. But it's really it's and right now it's good. It's better. But like for a long time, it was really just like, you know,
Yeah,
not great, And it seems like it's getting there, and I have confidence that they're getting there. But I agree with you. Like they need to like push more talent up there.
yeah. They need more talent featured, and they need them featured in something of substance. Like a bunch of them are just like in like, I don't like this girl. Like I don't care about that. That's not interesting to me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't like this girl because she did something behind the scenes. Okay, like give me something, like something to hold on to and sink my teeth into. I'm a big fan of. I don't know if you watched the Jericho Cruise Dynamite, where Kenny and Penelope. There was a mixed tag. I think it was Kenny and Riho versus Penelope and Kip.
Okay, yeah.
That match was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like just the mixed tag match with, like, I know AEW has only done 2 of them, I think, so far. But they both been great, and I would love to see more mixed tag. I know it's like a controversial thing, and like wrestling is like the women wrestling the men wrestling the women. But if it's done right, it can be done so good.
Yeah, which is like stupid, like because it it is fake.
They're not really fighting.
It's like
yeah.
Why is it bad that a guy's I don't know that like I'm a guy that tends to agree with the left side a little more, but I think that's ridiculous. It's like, oh, you can't have a man pretending to beat up a woman in wrestling.
Yeah, like
it's
what?
wrestling.
Yeah,
it's wrestling.
Anyone could. Mae Young took a fucking table spot.
Like,
like you shut up. Like you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be great to see a women's tag division, and I think it would be great to see some more mixed tag matches, and possibly lead to like a mixed tag tournament, which I think would be great because now you got Anna Jay and Jungle Boy are dating.
Yeah.
You got Kip and Penelope.
Which I think those two are great characters.
Yes.
Like character-wise, I think they're great.
Yeah, for sure. I love Jamie Hayter. As I liked her when she was originally in AEW, and like at the beginning in 2019 when she was first there, she had a different look, and she wasn't green, but she like the matches she was in like weren't spectacular, but I thought she was like great in the ring, and like her attitude was really good, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to like see where she goes, and then like she disappeared because she was in the UK, because of COVID, and now she's back, and I'm like, I'm really excited to see what they do with her.
I got you.
But the woman that I'm picking to win the 21 Women Casino Battle Royale is Ruby Soho. She's got it. She's got it. It's fine. We could have the same picks. But like, I think have you seen all of her vignettes that she's come out? They're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
No, and I feel like it'll make this podcast more fun if we disagree. We gotta argue about
okay,
shit.
I'll disagree. I'll say, okay, if Ruby Soho doesn't,
I'll pick something else.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was gonna say if she doesn't show up, I'm probably gonna go with Thunder Rosa. Like if Ruby is not the 21st, if it's somebody else, I don't care who it is, I'm gonna say it's Thunder Rosa.
I'll pick Thunder Rosa because I've been loving Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't the chance that Ruby could show up, I think Thunder Rosa wins this and goes on for a chance to fight Britt at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I could be wrong. All my information is from Reddit, so I could be wrong. But I thought Ruby's contract wasn't up until October.
I believe you're wrong.
Okay,
it's up.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like I'm almost.
I read this like a month and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say every dirt sheet that I read, which is shout out to the dirt sheets, Fightful and Wrestling Observer Live and Cultaholic and the rest of them. They're saying that it's up.
Okay.
So she is available, and I'm guessing she's coming to AEW because she's too good not to.
No, and she's phenomenal. She's great. I remember the Raw I went to, actually, fun fact, was her return.
Oh, nice.
She was like gone for like 6 months, and she came back, and I was like, fuck yeah. I've always liked Ruby Soho. But
I did when she was first in WWE, and she had come from NXT, and I liked her character. I liked the Riot Squad. I liked Liv. I liked, what's her name? The other one. I can't think of it because it changed.
She's pregnant.
Yeah. It's Big Damo's wife.
Yeah, what's her name? She's like got the dreads, right?
Yep. I can't think of her name, but I
loved her too.
Yeah, she was great. Like I just liked her
Sarah
energy.
Logan.
Yeah, Sarah Logan. Yep. I thought they were all good. I thought Liv was great. I thought Ruby was great. As a team, as a team, I thought like they could have like done a good split with them and like had a good feud between the three of them, which I would have liked to see. But they never really did anything great with them in WWE. They kind of just like stagnated and like just stayed the same the whole time. So it's a shame.
It is, because it was such a good balance, because you had Liv that was like, you know,
the pretty girl, yeah.
And then you had Sarah that was like the punk alternative chick.
Yeah.
And then you had Sarah that was like the Wyatt family kind of
vibe,
you know?
Yeah.
And like that could have really worked, even if they, like you said, if they split up, like it could have been a good feud.
Yeah, they could have split up but also feuded. Like they split up but stay together, and it maybe work their differences out, blah blah blah, like have a long-term future and then get back together and be a trios team to fight other trios. Like it could have been really good.
They could have been the female Shield, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what made the Shield so good, is that all three were such different characters.
Yeah, but they work so well together.
Yeah, because like the Wyatt family, you know, like I know you like them a lot, but like they were all just, you know, Bray and his
same type of people. Yeah.
But the Shield was good because it was like three completely different characters.
Yep.
Mixed into one.
I used to hate Dean Ambrose, by the way.
Really?
Just a side note.
Dude, I was on board from day one.
The Shield, like, I thought Seth was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought Roman was just like a beast. Like I was like, oh, he's like the next Rock. Like that's the guy, you know?
Yeah.
And Dean, I think I started watching like the Shield when like it was like Mitch the Potted Plant with like, I don't know if you remember
when Ambrose and Jericho were feuding.
Yeah. So like I thought Ambrose just looked like an idiot. Like he came off, to me at least,
Well, because he's like so like balding, but
Yeah,
has
yeah.
hair
It was
going
like,
forward.
yeah,
I
it was
get
just
it.
like
Yeah.
you're a dork, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's what. And then like when I had stopped watching wrestling for a while, then he showed up in AEW. Like there was a rumor that he was going to show up, and then
Yeah.
it was on my wedding day. I went
Oh,
after
yeah. You told me that
yeah,
before. Yeah. Yeah.
after I got married, I watched the.
You made your wife
I made my wife
your
watch Double or Nothing 2019.
I
I'll
love
never
dude,
forget
that's
it,
like my
dude.
favorite. I've every wrestling fan I know, which isn't a lot, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
guys, I've told them that story just so you know.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, I got this guy. No,
she was furious, dude. Furious. She sat there and
Is
watched
that-
the whole fucking pay-per-view though.
is that why you got married again? I don't
Yeah.
want to get personal, but
Yeah.
okay. I'm not trying to get personal with you.
No, it's fine. But yeah, it was great. But yeah, he came out and I was so excited. I was like, oh, the dork's back. Like he's a badass. Because I didn't realize that he was Moxley before he was Dean Ambrose, but I had found out after he had left WWE who Jon Moxley was and what he did in like GCW and all those promotions that he like had death matches and shit. I was like, oh, this guy could have been a fucking great character. And then they brought him out and he was Moxley and I was like, let's fucking go. I was like the redemption arc of this guy is gonna be so good. And it didn't disappoint. It was so good.
Yeah, that's funny because I was sold on him from day one. Like the day the Shield debuted, I was like, this Moxley. I can find. I mean, I'm not going to, but I could if you asked for proof. If I was in a court of law and needed proof, I could. I told my brother, like within 2 weeks of the Shield debuting, I said, Dean Ambrose is the star of this group. And he was like, "Really? You think so?" I'm like, "Dude, this guy could be the Joker in Batman, like the Heath Ledger Joker in Batman."
Yeah, I never
Like,
saw
that's
that.
how good this character is. And like I just I'm really like I'm weird. Like when I watch like wrestling or TV shows or movies,
Yeah.
I really pay attention to like the mannerisms. So just like the way like even when he wasn't talking, just the way he would like act, you know. I was like, this guy's got it. This guy knows what's up. This guy can act, and this guy can play this character. And so I was all in on Dean Ambrose from like day one, and I had no idea about his indie career before that, because back then I only watched WWE. I didn't watch indies or Ring of Honor, GCW, anything like that. And then after like once I became a fan of him, then I started watching his old shit, and I was like, yeah, dude, this guy's on another level. This guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen him sing that Bruce Springsteen song?
No.
Dude, you gotta watch this. It's an indie show before WWE, and he comes out hammered, and he's got a tall boy in his hand. Is it Bruce Springsteen? The like da 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 da. They always play at the Red Sox games.
Oh, Sweet Caroline?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Dude, if you haven't seen that after this you gotta watch that, dude.
Okay.
He comes out just hammered. His opponent's already in the ring, and he just goes up in the crowd and just starts singing "Sweet Caroline" with a tall boy in hand. It's amazing. I'm shocked you haven't seen that. That's like the most viral like indie wrestling video. Not the most, but like one of the most. Oh, we got some chatters.
Yeah, we got two guys in the chat. Certified Hustler and a guy you probably know. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, dude? Oh, and that's you.
That's me. I was saying, hey, I couldn't type in chat in OBS, so I just decided to go into YouTube.
But anyway, to get back to the battle royal, because we still have a lot of matches to cover.
Yeah. So
this is what I do. I go on.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, dude. I haven't been able to talk wrestling in like years. So
dude, I'm having a great time. I want to make this a weekly thing.
I'm down. I'm completely down. So yeah, let's go to.
So you're saying
Ruby Soho.
Okay, I'll go Thunder Rosa just to disagree because that makes it better.
Okay.
But I really hope the Iconics show up.
Yeah, I think they're gonna show up. I would love for them to show up. I don't want to say I think they're gonna show up because I don't. Yeah. I think maybe the Dynamite after, or the Arthur Ashe show. The 20,000 people plus maybe if everyone's vaccinated. But I think we get a. I think Ruby Soho. I think a vignette plays. Like with her entering Chicago drunk, stole that car.
Okay, yeah.
And she like stumbles in. She comes in like kind of like hidden Like you can't see her. Maybe she's in a hoodie or something.
Yeah, I was just like a hood, like
Yeah,
covering
and
her
like you
face,
can't see her, and she comes out and she
Yeah.
fucking drops the hood down. The fucking crowd goes wild, and
Yeah.
the vignette shows her walking all the way through the building through the curtain, and then
You've
like
got
the
this planned
curtain.
out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, you got to do it. If it's been this good cinematically from the vignettes that haven't even like no one knows where she's going, you might as well do it all the way up until the debut because they're well done.
Let's move on to. I want to go from least interesting to most interesting.
Okay.
And I told you
down.
off air how much I do not like QT Marshall.
All right.
And not
Fair
in
enough,
like
yeah.
a heel way. I just have never given one fuck about him. So let's talk about that match. You mentioned, and it caught my interest, because you mentioned that you don't think Paul Wight's going to wrestle in that match.
Yeah, so all right, let's talk about this. So on Rampage, I think it was Rampage. It had to be. The last AEW show that they had.
Yeah.
Paul Wight gets attacked by Billy Gunn and his freakishly large children.
That look exactly like
his twins. His clones. He gets attacked by them and they beat him down with a chair, and it looks like he can't even get up.
Okay.
And that's how like the segment ended. So I'm thinking Paul Wight is not the guy that faces QT. Like he comes to the ring, he says he's injured his hip because he hits him in the hip with the chair, and like that's the one that they showed on TV with the bolts in it. They're playing an injury angle, and I don't know where it's going. I would say if Paul Wight wrestles, he wins. If he does,
so.
if he doesn't win, or if he doesn't wrestle, I have no idea who the fuck it would be. Braun Strowman? Like,
Dude, I really hope he doesn't get there.
I'm not a big fan of Braun.
God,
So
maybe in a different company he could be good, but I've never been on board with Braun Strowman.
Me neither.
But I like that. So I missed Rampage. Those people, Certified Hustler, guy you probably know. Even though this is a wrestling podcast about AEW, I did not see Rampage this week. I've seen clips. I saw like the Punk clip and the main stuff, but so I didn't know about this. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So Billy Gunn turned on Paul Wight, which is funny because Paul Wight turns on everybody. Tall Paul.
Yeah. How many times has he been heel and face? Okay, so he might not wrestle. What if instead of so Paul Wight stumbles to the ring, he's like, "Hey, I can't compete tonight, and I'm medically cleared."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, AEW doctor, that used to be the
Samson.
WWE doctor.
Yep.
Same exact name as me, Mike Sampson.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should just go to it. Why don't you just get credentials and go backstage? Like,
dude, I heckled him. He walked by me at Rampage, and I heckled him. He's like, "We've got the same name."
Like, I don't know you. He's like, oh.
Yeah, we're both legally Michael Sampson.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks. Okay, so Paul Wight stumbles to the ring.
Yeah.
Can't compete, but he's got a replacement.
Yeah, who's the guy?
Oh, this isn't working. As I planned. Oh, here we go. Is that going to get copyrighted? So I turn that off.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear that?
No.
Oh, I was playing the final countdown.
Oh, you think it's
like right into the mic? I don't. I honestly don't think that.
I don't know. Could you do Daniel Bryan?
No, dude, not against QT. No. Fuck
no, he wouldn't want to waste that.
No,
because he'd just go in there and destroy QT real quick, and then cut a promo with Paul Wight.
I just tried to do that for the joke, but then I realized that might get you copyrighted. So
I didn't hear it. I don't care if it gets me copyrighted. I'm literally playing the AEW theme songs while we're like in the background.
Nice. But no, not for QT. I would guess Cody. If anything, Cody comes back.
Think Cody comes back?
No,
because he has the Malachi. He has the Malachi Black.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's filming Go Big Show, which is funny because Paul Wight's the guy we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. Yeah, no, Cody not for QT. That was a lapse judgment on my part. I don't know who would replace him. And I feel like AEW is not like WWE. Like if they advertise a match, they're gonna play the match.
Yeah.
Like did you see that WWE last week? Every match advertised for Raw didn't happen.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, Every single one. So I don't know, like, you know more than I do, but I disagree with you. I think we will see Paul Wight wrestle QT Marshall.
Okay.
But maybe they.
Is he gonna
I'm
win?
thinking, no way. I think they did the injury angle so that QT, they can explain how QT beats him. You know, like one of those.
Yeah,
Things.
I could see
Like,
that.
Like he's hurt.
Ugh.
He stumbles to the ring. He's injured.
I don't like
And
it, but I could
I
see
don't like
that.
it, dude. I don't like it. I hate everything about QT. Always had. Even when he was a baby face.
Yeah.
I don't give one. I'm sorry, QT. You're probably a good guy in real life if you happen to ever watch this, but I've never cared about your character. I think it's the outfit he wears.
The Tony Soprano bowling shirt, dude. You don't
Yeah.
like it?
No, I'm not a fan. So yeah, maybe like Paul Wight like isn't medically cleared, but then still trucks his way to the ring. He's like, nah, I'm gonna fight, and then QT beats him that way. You know, that way Paul Wight stays over as far as like he wrestled injured, he didn't get buried, and then QT can continue his heel heat of being like, I fucking beat the Big Show.
Yeah. Hmm. Now you're making me think that QT is going to win because you said he's going to play up the injury angle.
Yeah.
I'm going to still say Tall Paul wins this.
Wow. The guy you don't think's going to wrestle, you think's going to win.
Yeah, but I if he wrestles, he wins. A knockout punch or a choke slam, one of the two. It's going to be a quick match. It's not going to be long, but I think this is going to go on probably as like a bathroom break match before the cage and like the ramp up part of the show. I think like maybe 3 to 7 minutes. I'll give it that much.
Like a 7-minute fourth match of the night kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only match. Like it's not that I'm not looking forward to it. Like it's cool to see like Tall Paul in the ring, but
did you come up with Tall Paul? Or
no, it's a Brian Alvarez or Sean Ross Sapp. One of them. It just keeps tweeting. He's like chant Tall Paul, you cowards.
I love Tall Paul. That's
Tall Paul, dude. Because it's not Big Show anymore, so you can't like do anything with Big Show. It's gonna be something with Paul or Wight.
Yeah.
So,
dude. By the way, one last sidetrack.
Yeah,
I love that they got the same singer for his song.
Dude, so good. Well, I was like, yes.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, they got that same fucking guy?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the buy-in. There we go. So yeah, we got Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Jurassic Express versus Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Hybrid 2, which I'm a big fan of Jack Evans and Angelico. Just not the matches they've had in AEW. Like they've had some good matches. I think the Kenny Omega Jack Evans match from 2019 was fantastic. And he's had a lot of good matches with I think he had one with Jon Moxley. They had a tag match that was like fantastic with I think Private Party. If I remember correctly, it was really good. I think for the buy-in, you gotta do Jurassic Express.
Oh yeah, it's no brainer.
And Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends and Wheeler. I love Wheeler Yuta. Like he's just such a like a weird character for them to take under their wing. The Best Friends.
Yeah.
But you got it because Jungle Boy is like the future of AEW. Like clearly future champion, either TNT or AEW. But
he's the Cena. He's the one that is getting like actual publicity.
Yeah, and he's
like kids love and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And Luchasaurus, I'd love to see him do more. But I'm not a big fan of the Hardy Family Office stuff that they've been doing.
No, I think I agree. I think it's weird. Like,
yeah,
I liked Hardy when he was like just a crazy man, but now that he's just like a business man, I'm not as big of a fan.
Yeah, it's like a big money Matt mixed with normal Matt. I don't know. Yeah. It's like it seems like it's like filler for like when he does his big thing or like when he goes on his next iteration of Matt Hardy.
I feel like he needs to go broken again because, like, I heard that the big reason why he changed is because there was no crowds.
No fit. Yeah.
And the broken character didn't work with that. You know? Yeah. And so that's why I thought it was odd that, like, once they actually like came back to fans, and even before that, but like once they got close to that aspect, he became just random big money Matt, which it doesn't hit with me. It does not hit with me.
Because like his debut was the show after the show that you went to, and I was the show before the show that you went to. Well, before the pay-per-view.
That's when they had Hardy and Brody Lee.
Yeah, that was they were supposed to debut in New York. Yeah,
Rochester.
Which sucks because that could have been a fucking moment and a half.
No, 100%
for both of those pops, dude. Like insane.
Yeah. Especially Brody. Rest
yeah.
That was his hometown.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, the fucking pandemic screwed all that up. But like,
dude, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like Matt debuted as like Broken Matt, and like everyone at home was excited, but it didn't come across on TV as like anything happening.
There's no one in the stands. And he had a drone, and he's just standing like at the top, just like.
Yeah, it was great. But like it would have been so much better with like a fucking crowd roaring when that happened. Like, and then I think he could have went further with it, you know. But
and that's why I don't hate Matt Hardy. I just feel bad for him because I think the pandemic fucked his character more than anybody else.
Yeah, for sure. I think when Jeff, like, eventually Jeff, like, Matt said he wants to go out as a tag team with his brother, and he wants to face the Young Bucks again. And I think when Jeff leaves WWE and comes to AEW and they do that match, I think that'll be like their retirement. Will be like a big blow off at a pay-per-view or something. But I'd love to see Matt and Jeff have one more run together.
Oh, yeah, same
and
here.
just like have all the like do the Christian Cage version of a tag team. Like they come in and they take on all the young guys, all the young tag teams, Private Party. Like they turn on them. They do the Hybrid 2 and elevate them, Lucha Brothers, and then they
Tito and Ortiz.
they do FTR. Like it'd just be great to see them just go on a run as a tag team against all those teams, and then end it on the Young Bucks match, and Matt can go backstage and be a manager for somebody or something. But
I agree with that.
I think that'd be a great run for just to see Jeff and Matt together again and like doing some crazy shit.
I agree. Have you ever seen that video of the Hardys just shitting on Punk when they're just fucking like high on meth?
No.
Dude, there's so much shit I gotta show you.
Yeah, just send me videos. Just like just drop them.
It's like 2011. It's like Jeff and Matt Hardy in like a Waffle House.
Well, that explains it.
and I think Matt's filming, and Jeff is just clearly just fucked up.
Well, yeah.
And he just shits on Punk. He's like, "Hey, you know what? Fuck you, CM Punk, you fucking straight edge pussy." Or something like that, dude. I'll send you.
That's fantastic.
But no, that would be sick. I like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
That being said, back to this match.
Yeah.
100% Orange Cassidy Jurassic Express wins.
It's gotta 100%. Be like there's no way you gotta because it's the buy-in. Yeah.
It's pre-show. Yeah. You gotta keep the fans happy.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next? Let's see. Oh, so I still have the image for Pac versus Andrade, which is not on the card anymore.
Oh, right. Yeah,
because Pac had travel issues. But let's just say for
this would be the match of the night.
Oh, so good. Like for shits and giggles, let's pick a winner. And if Andrade was like hinting that he's looking for another partner, and Sammy Guevara was like, "Hey, if you want to steal the show, you know who to hit up." Like, and that would be a fucking hell of a match too. I don't know who. So we'll do if Pac and Andrade were gonna have a match. What do you think happens?
This one is so tough to call because I think both are so due for like a huge push.
Yeah,
they're both so due and worthy of it. It would steal the show. I think over the cage match even. I think this would steal the show.
Yeah, Pac's such a good worker.
I would have to say Andrade just because he's like the new guy in town that you gotta like build. Like Pac's been there basically since day one.
Yeah, he's had the Kenny match and the Moxley match.
that I think at this point you gotta go Andrade to just like I know wrestling fans know Andrade from WWE, but like just telling the AEW story, he's the new guy in town, and I think you gotta sell that Andrade is the real deal.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I do think Andrade wins, but it's a toss up, honestly. Like this could go either way, and I'd be fine with it going either way.
Yeah, I think Andrade wins, and I think he has a part to play in the Lucha Brothers match, because their whole like feud is that Andrade wants the Lucha Brothers to go with him, not be with Pac, and I think that like the Death Triangle angle kind of would have been cool, but the pandemic ruined that because they couldn't get Pac back in the States, and like they haven't done anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel so bad for Pac because he should be such a big player in this company, and he still hasn't gotten there.
Yeah. So I think the Lucha Brothers go with Andrade basically and help him win.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
It's like maybe super kicks or something off the apron, and they turn on Pac.
That actually makes sense. I like that because you got Chavo as the manager.
Mm-hmm. And then you got like Andrade, the Lucha Brothers under Chavo. I think it'd be a good faction, and then like you could add another member, Zelina Vega, when she eventually leaves again. She made the mistake. She made the mistake of going to WWE, and then they fired her husband.
She made the mistake of getting fired from WWE, and then a week later re-signing with WWE.
Yeah, and then she re-signed on the notion that her husband was gonna be starting a new angle, and they were gonna be working together. And then Malachi Black went.
I didn't hear this.
Yeah, and then Malachi got released while they were still working on that angle that she was promised that he was gonna have. Like that's why she went back. She was originally gonna go to AEW. Yeah, she was originally gonna come to AEW, and like Tony Khan had like basically they were in talks to have her debut like soon, and then all of a sudden they released Malachi Black, and he only had the 30-day non-compete because he was still under the NXT contract.
I love that. I love that they fucked that up. That's my favorite wrestling story, I think, in the last 20 years.
It's so good. Like, they just didn't remember that.
No idea.
Yeah.
And then same with Adam Cole, that like the main roster guy or man.
They're like, oh, hey, your contract expired 3 days ago. Yeah. Like, what?
Oh, shit.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fantastic. But yeah, so I'm thinking that's where they kind of head in that direction.
No, I like that. I agree with that. Because I was thinking Andrade for sure as well, if that match did happen.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Moxley versus Kojima.
This one's a layup, dude.
Yeah.
It's a layup.
Yep. It's got to be Mox, dude.
Yeah.
No way. The guy who likes bread versus the guy who likes beer. Like, I don't know. Who do you give it to?
Well, and also like, okay, forgive me. This is a wrestling podcast, but I try to watch New Japan. I only really watch Wrestle Kingdom though, so I don't know a lot about them. I know he's a legend there.
Yep.
Keyword legend. That's
Grand Slam winner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's an old legend.
Jon Moxley called him an old man, like in the last promo.
Moxley's gonna. It's not gonna be a squash match.
I think they're gonna beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah. But Moxley, there's no way Moxley doesn't come out on top of this.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just a 10-minute beat the shit out of each other, paradigm shift.
I like that.
Done. Like that's it.
Like the kind where like there's like 2 minutes straight of them just punching each other in the face.
Yeah.
And then they back up, and then Moxley like gives the double bird.
Yeah, and then they lariat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just lariats, both lariats. Like one knocks each other down, they get it back up, knocks the other guy down. Like just a fucking throwing meat at each other, just fucking beating the hell out of each other.
What do you think of Moxley's new look, by the way?
Yeah,
because there's not much to talk about this match.
He's beefier.
We covered it there. He is beefier.
He's got a dad bod.
I don't like his hair.
You don't like his hair?
I know he's been balding for years, but I liked his old hair look, even though it was obvious he was balding. I liked that he would like kind of grow it out and comb it forward.
It kind of gave him a more rugged like look.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't put much thought into it, but also like I have noticed it, it's like been in the back of my mind, like, oh, it's a little different. Like, I think maybe he changed it up once Renee had the kid.
No, for sure. That's exactly what happened.
I think he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like he's just like he's done.
And
like,
to give him credit, like he's balding so bad that like he should give it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But just his character, like
it makes sense that he would comb it forward. Yeah.
Yeah, he was combing it forward. And
yeah.
that little shit going on. Yeah,
I'll get there someday.
Are you balding?
Maybe. I don't know. I just have a big forehead, I think.
No, I'm kind of getting there too. Like all the way
there
up here.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a 5 head pretty soon. Yeah, I think they just beat the shit out of each other and Moxley takes it home. I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll be a quick match.
No, I agree. Like 10, 15 minutes at tops, probably 10 minutes.
It was supposed to be Tanahashi.
Was it? Oh,
it was supposed to be. He got COVID.
Right.
He got COVID. Yeah.
That would have been that should have been like a 45 minute.
That would have been like 30 45 minute match and they just go at it.
That would be insane to watch.
That would be fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen the New Japan Pro Wrestling like YouTube. They have a playlist called The Recount, and it's like all the old storylines in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like goes through like the Bullet Club, the origination of it. And it has like 6 or 7 episodes on that.
Oh, this sounds cool.
It's so good. It's like documentary style. It's all in English.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I've watched all of them. They're fantastic. That's how I get all my like New Japan like history lesson because I never really watched New Japan. I never had the time or energy to. But when I found out about the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks and Kenny, that's when I like went back and watched all of it. But I would definitely check out The Recount on NJPW's YouTube.
No,
it's
sure.
fantastic.
Because I don't know anything about their history. I've just since like probably going on like 6 years now. I watch Wrestle Kingdom every year live. I make sure I take the day off work the next day.
Nice.
And I'll watch it live at like 3 a.m.
I should start watching.
That was like my first introduction to like Kenny. It was the first one I watched was the first Kenny Okada match.
Oh, yeah. That's a good time to start watching. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. But that's the only time I ever like pay attention to New Japan. It's just Wrestle Kingdom every year. It's circle on my calendar and I watch that.
Yeah, that's smart. I should definitely start watching some New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-views. I don't.
Yeah, and like I said, that's all I do. Like I don't know. Like I've never heard of this guy before. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know Kojima, but I did learn like through those videos. I learned a lot about the other factions. Ingobernables or whatever.
Okay.
I think that's what they're called. That's like a Spanish name, and then they have like a couple spin-offs of like Bullet Club and whoever they were feuding with. I forget who the hell it was. One time one of them was led by Tanahashi. I forget what it was, but it was like they're like documentary style and like the way of like Dark Side of the Ring type stuff, but it has like footage from like previous years, and it's so good. Like it's really interesting history of New Japan too, but it shows all the storylines and like how they got to where they are today, and like why Bullet Club is the way it is, and like why all these other factions are the way they are. But they're really good, like really
to
really
bring
good.
It back, AEW does a really good job with that too.
Yeah, I think they're kind of taking a page out of New Japan's book by like the long term booking and hinting at certain things like
Dynamite, like the way they tied that Christian Omega feud.
That was so
good. By the way,
good.
we didn't talk about that.
So
we didn't
good.
Talk about the Christian match, but like the way they figured out, like, oh, we can make this.
Don Callis and Kenny when he was 10 years old, and Don when he was the first person to book Christian. I was like, what?
Yeah, how the fuck did they pull that out of their ass?
Like it clearly wasn't a thing to begin with, and then they were like, hey, wait a minute, we have a connection here. Let's make it and let the audience know, which is like I love that shit. Like let me know all the history behind it, and like if you have history that even if it's not actually part of the like what's going on, just give me those little details, and that makes me make my own story in my head, you know.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Which like WWE refuses to do. They did it like a couple times where they would like kind of hint at an old feud, but they would never like go all in of like, oh, this is why these guys don't like each other, because 6 years ago they had a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah,
and I like how AEW also acknowledges outside companies and previous work.
Yeah.
So
let's move on. But real quick, while we're on Jon Moxley,
Go ahead.
Let me do a flash shot.
Go ahead.
Wild thing, baby.
Dude, way, such a cool entrance. Such a cool fucking entrance. When they played the Major League version, I was like, let's fucking go.
Oh, it was perfect. I said that. So my brother is a huge wrestling fan, but doesn't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
But he still like goes to like Squared Circle Reddit, so he's still like up to date.
Yeah, he keeps up, but he's not a active watcher.
Yeah. And I sent him that, and he was like, "Dude, that is so perfect, especially that they did the Major League version of that song." He's like, he is Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's him. So good. That was like my third. I mean, there's so many awesome moments of that Chicago show, but like hearing that live, I was like,
that was, yeah. I can't wait for the, I'll be at the October Boston soon, show. Right? Yeah.
Nice. Dude, I still need to get back to Boston. I've been telling Larry for 7 years that I'm going to go visit him. And I haven't done it. Now that I know you too, I'm like, I really want to.
I mean, I'm home and I haven't visited Larry either. But
really?
I think he asked me out for beers like a month ago, but I was like really busy.
He hasn't, like, I feel like he hasn't been like as talkative lately. This is off podcast. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
He hasn't been around as much.
He just hasn't been around. We miss you, Larry.
Yeah, Larry. Fuck you if you're watching.
Yeah, fuck you, Larry. Yeah, so let's move on to Miro versus Eddie Kingston, which phenomenal talker.
You like Wendy's?
Do I like Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's nuts hit your face.
Got him. That segment that he had last week, fantastic, and I think Miro is having one of the best runs he's had creatively ever since probably Rusev Day when right before Vince killed that. What a fucking idiot.
100%. And what's sad is Rusev Day was more. What was his announcer's name? I forgot that dude. That fucking pasty guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Because that was like the main guy behind that.
Aiden English.
Yes. And then Miro's AEW run like started so poorly.
So bad. It wasn't even bad. It was just like, oh, okay, he likes video games.
What's the plan here? Yeah.
Cool. But
he likes video. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the way they turned it around, dude, was bad. After the wedding, and then he fucking destroys Kip.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I forgive you. And like hugs him, but I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like I was like, my brain was like, wait a minute, what are they doing with him?
Yeah.
And then he's like, it looked like he broke his arm. Like he put his arm in a door and fucking slammed it. And I was like, that would break my arm. So his arm's probably broken.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I forgive you for your sins. And I was like, what? I was like, oh no, they're going to make him a fucking, like a God-fearing powerhouse. Like Jesus Christ. And then they did. And it's been working ever since.
But not realizing that he's a God-fearing powerhouse that also loves to bang his wife.
Loves to bang out his hot wife. Like, good for him.
Yeah.
Jesus. He's everything I want to be. It's just everything.
Yeah. This match is tough to predict because I want Eddie. Like, I love Miro's character. Don't get me wrong. I like both guys in this situation. But I want Eddie Kingston to win. But I also think Miro needs to retain.
I think Miro also needs to retain. I do want to see Eddie win, but I think I want to say Eddie wins it at Arthur Ashe. I think they have the rematch.
Oh, so you think he wins the belt off Miro?
No, I don't think he's going to take it off at All Out.
No, but in general, like
yes, I think he's the one that
to take the belt off Miro is going to be Eddie.
I think it's Eddie in New York at a hometown crowd, 20,000 people. Eddie fucking Kingston, the guy who's worked his ass off in the Indies for years, never got a shot, came back, his mouth got him a job. And he is going to, I think he beats Miro for the belt on Arthur Ashe. But I can't see a card where they have every champion retain. And I think this card is like, if you just look at it on paper, it's like every champion's probably going to keep the belt. No, I think this is the match that is like a toss-up where Eddie could take it and then defend it in New York.
Dude, I didn't even think about that because I don't think the Bucks are gonna. Well, I could see.
The Bucks losing too. That's the thing. Like I think they keep.
For their storyline, for for them / Kenny's storyline combined, I still think it's too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
That's the
I
only
love that I
title
don't
match-
know though. I love that I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I have no idea.
But the Miro Eddie story, I think. Don't know, because Eddie's saying that he's gonna come after Miro's neck. Miro's just talking about his hot wife and Jesus. I think it might be a swerve. I think, I'm gonna say Eddie wins. I'm gonna say Eddie takes that belt off him and then defends it in New York and wins against somebody else, probably a bigger star than Miro.
He's a New York guy, isn't he?
He's from Yonkers. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever heard him talk, he's from New York.
I know. I realized that's a dumb statement, right?
But
I said it.
yeah, I think he takes it. I think Eddie takes the belt, and it's a shock upset victory, but everyone's happy. Like, I think everyone would be happy if Miro won, and I think everyone would be happy if Eddie won. So I'm gonna say Eddie takes the belt on this one. I'll go with that.
No, and you're convincing me, because I was like, I want Eddie to win, but I think Miro needs to win. But once you mentioned the other title matches, and you're right, like there's got to be at least one title change.
Mm-hmm.
That now I'm leaning towards Eddie winning. But also, you brought up the Arthur
Ashe
Roth.
Asher at the Asher Roth.
At the Asher Roth Stadium.
I wish, dude.
I'm gonna go with Miro. Just disagree because I'll make it more fun. We disagree.
Okay. All right.
Because I like your theory better that Kingston wins it at Asher Roth.
Asher Roth. Hell yeah. I think so. The reason I think that is because I think you give, which we'll talk about, but I think you give Santana and Ortiz the belts at Arthur Ashe.
Oh, okay.
So you give them the New York home pop because they're New York boys too.
Oh yeah, they're like Brooklyn, right, or Harlem?
Yeah, Brooklyn. But I think they win the belts off the Bucks at Arthur Ashe. Eddie will go in holding a belt and defend to get the hometown pop. And then Santana and Ortiz, who everyone has said they deserve a fucking title shot and title run, are going to finally get it in their hometown, I think.
That makes sense. Dude, you're way better Brooklyn than I am.
Yeah, I think because you can't give them both the hometown pop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you can't have one over the other.
It's the same thing I was talking about. Like
they'll both.
If Punk debuted the first night of AEW, it would take away from AEW.
Exactly.
But Punk shows up a year later or 2 years later. It's fine. You can't like have two big things in one show.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do that show with the biggest crowd you've ever had, by far.
Yeah.
If it works out that way, COVID depending.
Is it bigger than the United Center?
It's 20,000 people. United Center was 15, 16.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think
sorry, go ahead.
You can't have both of them win the belts on the same night.
No, I agree.
Like, because then you're like, wait a minute, like this is too good, or like, I mean, I'm sure if you're there live, you're having a blast and like you don't give a fuck, but in story wise, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see both of them.
You're right.
You're
100% right.
But
it's like people that wanted like Danielson to debut the same night Punk did at the United Center. It's like, no,
it would have ruined it.
No, they each need their own night.
Yeah,
it's their night. It's their night.
Yeah, so I think Eddie gets the pop in Chicago, which because like this is Punk's show. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, this is not anyone else's coming out party other than Punk's. Like, like Eddie gets the belt, everyone loves him, cool, they have a good time. It's not gonna be a huge pop, but he gets to make up for that pop when he defends and wins in like a brutal, maybe versus Jon Moxley or something, match at Arthur Ashe. Asher Roth. Asher Roth comes out, steals the belt.
Who even was Asher? I know he's a rapper.
He do like I Love College or something?
Oh, I was thinking it was the bicycle.
Or did he do like
I like to ride my bike with no handlebars?
No.
Is that guy?
No.
Okay.
No, I wish so.
Yeah, I think he was the college guy. Right.
Yeah, I think it was something like that, like I Love College or something.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I like that though. I like that booking.
Well,
but I've been hoping. Last thought on this match, real quick.
Yeah.
I've been hoping that Kingston and Moxley would stay together long enough that when they debut the 6-man tag match titles,
Yeah.
that they would find a third to team with them and win those.
Who would be their third?
Darby Allin, I think.
You think Darby?
Like Punk, or sorry, not. Oh, this is Moxley and Kingston.
Moxley and Kingston. Who's going to be? They're both great on the mic. They're both kind of brawlers. Who do you get that complements them?
Okay, that is tough. You're right. For some reason, I was thinking of Punk at the time. That's why I was like Darby. But
Now I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah, never mind. I can't think of a third.
Who?
Punk.
Yeah.
Punk would be good if he wasn't with the Lucha Bros, but it would make sense if your theory from earlier of the Lucha Bros turning on Pac, then I would say Pac for sure.
Yeah, because he's the athletic.
He's the non-mic guy, just brawler.
Yeah, and then you got the other two as like just fucking cut a promo and beat your ass like Eddie.
I would love to see that actually, Pac, Eddie, and Mox together.
That could be fun. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I think that's the best fit for who they have on the roster right now.
Yeah, no, I do too.
And like Tony Khan said recently, I forget what interview it was, but he was talking about the trios titles, and he said like basically he confirmed that they are coming. They just don't know when.
Yeah, he's been saying that for like a year now.
Yeah, I'm so down for trios titles. I think
it's phenomenal. Like you didn't watch this during that peak, but like when the Wyatt family and the Shield and then Evolution came back.
Oh yeah.
Just those three teams. Just those three teams.
Just those three teams.
I stuttered. Just those three trio teams is what I meant to say.
There you go.
It was so good. And they put on such great matches that I was like, why isn't this a thing? Why is 6-man tags not a normal thing? And then obviously, I mean, AEW does it all the time. It's great.
New Japan does it all the time. They have the belts for it and everything. Like it's a thing. Like, and that's everyone's like, oh, AEW has too many factions. I'm like, no, fuck it, give me more. I was like, I remember the Attitude Era when fucking factions were everything. Yet everyone was in a stable. Yeah. I was like, I loved it.
Bringing that up.
So good. So good.
Because factions is amazing. I like that there's a bunch of teams.
I like because if you're hanging out in the locker room backstage,
guys, bad guys, and then one faction that's good and one faction that's bad. I love that it's like
there's gray areas and like and like some people mingle between the other factions and like some factions work together and like that's why the Attitude Era was so good because you're always hanging out, you're on the road together, you're gonna interact with the other people, you're gonna make friends. Wrestlers should have friends. Like I think they and then the lone wolves are like special. Like if Jon Moxley wants to be a lone wolf, like
a few
cool.
lone wolves mixed in.
Yeah.
It's like it's like high school. That's why it's
exactly.
It's exactly like high school. There's all these random cliques, and some intertwine, some don't. Then you have the weird loner that is just kind of wandering around,
and he's like checking out the other factions and like trying to either recruit himself into, or they're trying to recruit him and he's trying to avoid them. Like that's part of storylines that like makes things interesting because you're like, oh wait, it's like politicking in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Like that's people like to see that stuff. So I think more factions the better. Fuck it.
I agree completely. Like it should be teams. I love the idea of teams in wrestling.
Like Survivor Series is the biggest fucking pay-per-view or one of the biggest pay-per-views, and it's because they're fucking teams. Like that's why.
I love that. This is my favorite thing. I always tell my brother, and it's always during Survivor Series where it's like, let's say it's like John Cena and Randy Orton are on Raw. They hate each other. Orton's a bad guy, Cena's a good guy, and like. Well, we don't see eye to eye.
Can we coexist?
We gotta take on SmackDown in 3 weeks, and I gotta say I don't like you, Randy Orton, but I respect the hell out of you. And then they shake hands, and then the crowd goes nuts, and the credits roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, when I was a kid, I used to build like my own wrestling stages.
Yeah.
With like the like I'm talking like 8 years old. Had the ring, the fake ring.
So last week.
Yeah.
It's like I have it right here.
And that was like my thing. I would do like my own version like of WWE. Like it was like franchise mode,
Yeah. Well,
and so I'd do like my own storylines and shit. Build the stage with like paper and whatever. And then and my big thing when I was a kid was like, factions. Factions.
Yeah. It makes it interesting.
Yeah,
because you can have 100%. them break apart, you can have them come together, you can have them join other factions, become one big faction, or you can have like one member break off and go to the other faction. Then you have a story with the other faction, and you have the story of the guy breaking off from your faction. Like it gives you more depth to all your other storylines, I think. The people that complain that there's too many you're wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like
it's way better than just a bunch of random guys on their own wearing their own T-shirt when
it's
they
like,
walk to
no,
the
there's good guys and there's bad guys and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
this guy. Like, no, that's not how things work. There's gray areas.
Yeah, that's the other thing I hate, or what I love about AEW. Every single fucking guy, with the exception of like, there's always like one dude that gets to wear a suit to the ring.
Yeah.
To cut a promo, and there's Orton that gets to wear like the fucking best. Everyone else wears their own T-shirt.
Yeah.
To the ring.
To go sell that
but
merch.
AEW, like they just like like you got the Young Bucks and Kenny dressing like assholes.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
Like people get so mad. They're like, why are they wearing those nice sneakers and those shitty shirts? And I'm like, fuck you. That's why. Like
it's so much more natural. It's like you're not gonna sell. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know. But like I hate that. That's like the biggest thing that turned me off from WWE later in the road, is that every single fucking wrestler would wear their own shirt that they're currently selling to the ring.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, in the Attitude Era, like Stone Cold would wear like his fucking crazy vest. The Rock would wear his like silk shirt.
Yeah.
Not a Rock shirt.
No.
The Rock, just some silk button-down shirt.
The only time The Rock would wear a Rock shirt or Stone Cold wear a Stone Cold shirt is like the week before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
To sell the pay-per-view, basically. Like, hey, I'm Stone Cold and I'm on TV, because he knew like ESPN was going to pick it up, Sports Illustrated was going to pick it up, and they wanted to have the logo and then, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only time. Other than that, it was like the vest and the tights, and then like The Rock was the silk shirt and the chain. Like, and
I mean, obviously there's guys in AEW that do it, like, will wear a shirt, but like it's not often, and it's not like every week.
Yeah. Like if they have a new shirt that came out, they'll wear it the next week just because they're a t-shirt company.
Yeah. But it's not Cena coming out every single goddamn week wearing the same green John Deere shirt.
Yeah, I liked it better when he wore a fucking chain with a lock on it.
Yeah, no, same here.
Thugonomics.
I hate that shit. Anyway, let's get back to this paper.
Okay, all right. So we decided that I got Eddie, you got Miro.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a brutal fucking match too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Next up is the final fight. Oh shit, the final fight. Oh, hello. There we go.
I'm watching your stream to see the graphic.
Yeah, it's like it like switched over.
Yeah, dude, you're so pro at, like, dude, I couldn't do this.
I set this up like earlier today. I was like,
this is like just like a professional production here.
You're welcome.
Like I'm literally just watching your stream right now, like waiting for the picture to change.
All right. Well, it's gonna flash back and forth a couple times because my mouse got stuck.
Oh yeah, I see it. There it goes. All
right.
Go.
So MJF versus Chris Jericho. If Jericho loses, he'll never wrestle again, and he'll go to commentary. And I've heard the worst takes on Twitter. They're like, "Please don't go back to commentary. Everyone root for Jericho. He has to win."
I like him on commentary.
I like him. People are mad because he yells a lot, but he's very animated. But I like the fact that I liked him better as a heel on commentary than I do as a face. But I do like his banter, but he could tone it down a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I could see that. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, he's been my favorite wrestler since I was like 6 years old.
Y2J?
His political things kind of, bummed me out, in the last couple years. But I still respect the hell out of the character of Chris Jericho.
Yeah, and as a wrestler, like what he's done is insane. Like,
yeah. So this is one where I want to hear your takes on this match first, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to go last here.
All right, so my thoughts on this is, you got to have MJF come out and cut a promo about how he's going to end Jericho's career, blah, blah, blah. And he talks about, obviously, the labors, the Nick Gage match, the Juventud match. Who else did he face in that? Wardlow, which was actually a better match than I thought it was going to be. I'd like to see Wardlow get a run, man.
When I heard that.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, I was like, okay, no, this is actually
it was solid. So he comes out, cuts the promo, gets in the ring, Jericho's music hits, crowd sings Judas like fucking crazy, like they always do, which is like cool. Everyone's singing along to your theme song, which I think it's great because anything getting the crowd involved is like
How
fantastic.
cool was it when he couldn't play his music and the crowd
killed it.
They
nailed
it.
Yeah, it was. I got chilled. I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, this is a moment. Like, this is cool. Like those are why we watch wrestling. Like that's why. 100%. And I mean, it was planned. It was completely planned in storyline and everything. And they still nailed it. Like they weren't gonna screw that up. But so they sing. Jericho kind of stands there, like basking in his fucking glory, and MJF attacks him before the bell. I think he puts a beating on him before the bells even rang. And then the match starts. They go back and forth. I think MJF tries to put him away with his own finishers. So he goes for the walls. Can't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He goes for the lion salt. Like, can't put him away. And he goes for the, what's the elbow? Judas effect.
The Judas effect, yeah.
Judas
what about a code breaker?
Yeah, code breaker too. I think he tries all of them. I think they go through the greatest hits of Jericho. I think MJF tries to hit them all to take him out because he's a big fan because he did it with Cody.
Yeah.
He tried to hit Cody's finisher to finish him off, but he didn't do it as well. Yeah. Like he could never do it as good as the person that did it. So like he's infatuated with Chris Jericho, so like he's trying to be better than him by beating him with his own move to show like I am the better version of Chris Jericho. Basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Chris Jericho somehow, by hook or by crook, he wins. I think Jericho wins. I don't think he's leaving for commentary. I think maybe he hits like the Heat Seeker like MJF does, and then gets him in the Salt of the Earth armbar. Makes MJF tap because MJF just made Jericho tap. So yeah, I think MJF, like that's the thing that like makes him even crazier than he is because he's like fucking delusional, and he thinks he's the greatest fucking thing in the world. But I think this is the thing that like makes his character move like even bigger heel and like even more fucking crazy and more like I'm the greatest that's ever been. But the Jericho thing was a fluke, and yeah, so I think Jericho wins. I don't think he does commentary for the rest of his career.
That's fair.
But,
I like that.
But,
if I start a wrestling company, you'd be the first guy I'd hire.
But part of me thinks that he might not because he's going on tour, I think, soon with Fozzy.
Fozzy, yeah.
So, but he has the Jericho Cruise too. So true. Like.
Which has wrestling,
and he's probably gonna wrestle on it because it's his fucking cruise. Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I
was shocked to hear that he's requiring
everyone to be vaccinated.
Yeah,
it's not him that's requiring; it's the fucking cruise line. Basically, said you can't. Yeah, you can't do this.
Like I said, I told you earlier, like he's my favorite wrestler since I was 6, but like the last few years, just personal shit that's come out.
Yeah, he's been kind of yeah. But yeah, it's everyone has to be vaccinated on the cruise. So I would love to fucking go to a Jericho cruise.
Dude, let's do it, dude.
I would love to. Like,
let's do a live podcast on the cruise.
Oh, that'd be sick. Good. Talk to all the wrestlers. But yeah, go ahead. You tell me.
It?
Yeah, that's it. I just think Jericho's gonna win. I do have my doubts, but I think Jericho takes it home, and I think MJF's basically trying the greatest hits of Jericho on him.
I like that a lot more than my theory, which, by the way, off topic. This is completely off topic. I'm sorry, really quick. I'll get back to it. Who do you think? Because obviously AEW is signing all these XWE guys.
Yeah.
Who's the first AEW guy to go to WWE? Because there's gonna be somebody.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be like a younger talent. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's not established. Because I don't think Moxley goes. I don't think Jericho goes. I think Jericho's basically invested too much in AEW to go back. I think if anyone could make it work, Jericho could by going back to WWE and cutting a promo about, you know what I mean? Like he's one of the ones that could do it. I don't think Moxley is ever going back to WWE. He's having too much fun. I think they're all just having too much fun.
No way, Moxley. Yeah.
I think maybe
And
one of
that's
like
what makes this question hard, is because everyone in AEW seems to fucking love it there.
yeah, they're like all having a good time. You can tell they're having a good time in the ring.
Somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking a undercard guy, like maybe somebody that's not hired yet. Like maybe they hire like a Bo Dallas type guy, and he doesn't work out, and they sign him to like a 1 year, 2 year deal, and then after that he gets picked up by WWE a year later. I think that's all we'll ever see. I don't think we'll ever see like a mainstream guy or girl come to AEW and then leave for WWE. I just can't see it unless like they start fucking up really bad and like not treating people right. But from everything I've seen and heard backstage, like literally every single interview that somebody that signs with them, every single podcast, everything from the dirt sheets is basically saying like AEW is just a fun fucking place to work, and Tony Khan gives a shit about the people that work for him. So I can't see it. Like maybe an undercard guy. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah. So I said it was off topic, but it actually is on topic. I was swerving it.
Ooh.
I think it's Chris Jericho, and so this gets back to this fight.
Okay.
I think Chris Jericho loses, not clean, but I think he does lose. And then because AEW started, it's been like almost 2 years to the day, right?
Yeah.
So I think Jericho probably signed a 2-year deal. I think he's gonna do a Fozzy tour. I think he's gonna lose this match, do commentary for a few weeks, maybe a few months, do his Fozzy tour, and then I think because here's the thing, I like Jericho's, like I've mentioned 1,000 times already, is been my favorite wrestler since I was 6 years old, 7 years old. He doesn't have it anymore. Like like when the fans chant, "You still got it."
Yeah, he doesn't still have it.
No, he does. Yeah. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. In my opinion, I think he's washed. So I think he loses this match, puts over MJF. I think he does commentary for a while, leaves, and then I think he has one final WrestleMania program in front of him where he comes back home.
Okay.
Because he's been a loyal Vince guy forever until AEW. And I know he loves AEW and has had fun there. But I think that's where this is leading to, is he takes a break, does commentary for a while, does his tour, his contract expires, and then he shows up in WWE in like February or March and does one final Mania match, retires, goes in the Hall of Fame that same night, like one of those situations.
Yeah.
And calls it a day. And then maybe after that goes back to AEW as like a manager or a commentator. But that's my big theory here. That's why I see that question, because he doesn't have it. Like, I love the guy. I have no desire to watch him wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
And I hate to admit that and say it, but I don't. I love the character of Chris Jericho, but I no longer want to see him wrestle. And I think he's done. And I think nothing against AEW, but I think Jericho owes it to himself to end at a Mania. And so I think next Mania is his final match against, I don't know who whoever the fuck's in WWE now. And gets in the Hall of Fame, does all that, calls it a day.
See, I would agree with you. So I was thinking that too, because he went through the labors, and I thought that was like the Jericho retirement tour with like Nick Gage, Hoovy, Wardlow. Who was the other guy? There was one more.
You said Nick Gage already, didn't you?
Yeah, it was Nick Gage.
Nick Gage,
Hoovy, Wardlow. There was one more before MJF. Who was it?
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Why can't I remember? It must have not been that notable.
No, the Hoovy one was the best one.
That was so
if
good.
you were a WCW guy, like I was, that was fucking dope for me. It was Hoovy coming back. So he had to do the top rope move. He had to do. Couldn't use his finisher.
Yeah. Who the hell was it? Let me look this up.
Yeah.
It's gonna bug me if I don't know.
No, I'm the same way. I'm looking up too.
4 challenges. Speaking of the simply attacked him from the parking lot. Juventud
Yeah, I
doesn't.
think we're looking at the same article right now.
Yeah. What the heck? Doesn't show all 5. It just shows one.
This is a wrestling podcast, and we can't remember the fourth.
That oh, Sean Spears, wasn't it?
Oh
The
yeah,
chair.
chairman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Jericho couldn't use a chair.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, there's good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Sean Spears is a great wrestler. They don't have much he can do in this company, right? Like
He's
he's
the same
the
as
undercard guy. Like
yeah, he's the same as QT for me. Like I don't give one shit about him.
yeah,
And like I'm sorry, like I'm sure they're good people, but character wise, QT and Sean Spears, I don't give a fuck.
I like QT's stuff on Sammy's vlog and Being the Elite more than I like him on AEW. Like he plays a fantastic character on both of those. Like I would watch that on AEW more than I would watch what he does on AEW.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of that.
Yeah, they're good watches.
I try to. They're just so long.
Yeah,
I try to.
The earlier BTs are so much better than the newer ones. But
dude, did I tell you this? I'm so mad. When I was in Chicago, Sunday morning before the Cubs game, I go to the Nike store in downtown Chicago to browse. Yeah. It's like 11 a.m. in Chicago. And I look through the whole thing and all that. And then when I get back, BTE comes out.
And they were in the same Nike
and they
store.
Go to the fucking Nike store and they're like, it's Saturday morning or Friday morning.
Yeah, you're like, damn it.
And I'm like, dude,
I missed it.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I missed them by like 20 minutes.
Damn.
I had to have.
That's funny.
And like they even like I have like a bunch of pictures of like what I took versus like
yeah.
And it's like, dude, I was there that same morning.
What the fuck? That's funny.
And just barely missed it. But anyway, that's my big conspiracy theories. I think
Jericho going back to WWE.
I think Jericho has to end his career in WWE. And I think he's washed and done. And I think this.
I would say you're right, but I don't think that happens only because his last match has to be against Lance Storm, and I don't think Lance Storm would go back to WWE.
That's fair.
But I think he would definitely have a match versus Jericho, like one 20-minute banger where they just throw down and that's it, and that's Jericho loses and goes out. Lance Storm gets his win, never wrestles again.
I just don't. No, I agree with you. I just don't see a situation where Jericho doesn't finish his career not being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the only way to get inducted there is to be there with them.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think the WWE Hall of Fame has as much weight as it used to. I think it's ever had there actually there was an article. There's an article. It's not a real Hall of Fame. It doesn't even exist in the physical form. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a mental Hall of Fame.
It's just like their attendance records.
Yeah. They don't exist.
Yeah.
I read something yesterday or today maybe. It was about they're trying to create a physical pro wrestling Hall of Fame, like not WWE. A bunch of like sports writers and like wrestling aficionados are trying to create like get permits basically to allow to build one. I don't know where it's going to be. Maybe probably in the South somewhere, I'm guessing, because that's kind of where wrestling originated. Probably Georgia or something.
I was gonna say it's got to be like Georgia, Chicago, and New York.
Yeah. So if that happens, I would see Jericho wanting that more than the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like he would want, like, knowing his ego, like he would definitely want to go out in the like Hall of Fame at a Mania, like 40, 50, 60,000 people.
Yeah, I just don't see how he goes out any other way. Which I know negates kind of he has to retire if he loses. Because, you know, if he goes to WWE and wrestles again, you know. And I don't think I think he cares enough about the business and his character that I would like to think he wouldn't do that. Like, oh, I'm retired now, but actually no, 3 months later I'm in WWE and we have one more match.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But I don't see, like, I know like he loves All AEW and it's gone well for him and I think he's happier there. But I just feel like he's the guy that is going to go back and have one more WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I could definitely see that playing out. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on to the next match and
what do we got here? I'm looking. Oh, there's a delay. I always forget about the delay.
Britt Baker D.M.D versus Kris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Champ. I love that they have the World Championship. Like, I think that's great. You go ahead. I'll let you take this one.
I think Britt Baker wins in 6 minutes.
You think it's gonna be a squash?
Not a squash, like 6 minutes, like a little bit of back and forth for the first 2 minutes, and then squash the rest of the way. But like, I love Kris Statlander, but she's not quite there yet to hold the belt, in my opinion. I think she's great and can hold the belt later on.
Yeah, definitely.
She needs more development. So I think it's like the first 2-3 minutes back and forth, and then Britt Baker's so over right now after Pittsburgh. You know,
a heel that's so over.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's like 7 minutes, where like not a burial.
Yeah.
But just like back and forth for a couple minutes, and then Britt Baker takes over and fucking closes it out within like 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I'd probably say you're probably right. I'm thinking only because I saw Rampage. I know you didn't, so you didn't see Kris Statlander's match on Rampage.
No, I saw her spot though.
Dude,
that spot was nuts.
Fantastic. They built her up in that match so well.
Yeah, no, they really did.
That I think basically Kris is gonna have like the majority of the match. Like she's gonna get her shit in, and she's gonna look good.
Yeah.
I think Britt is gonna be like find herself against the ropes, like fucking reeling and trying to figure out how to beat this girl because she's just gonna be so powerful. I think that's how they were building her, and I think they need to get Britt's heel credibility back because she's so over and she's a face that they really need her.
Yeah.
They really need people to like hate the way she's winning these matches, just to give her some like disdain for the audience. I think Rebel helps her cheat. Like Rebel does something to maybe loosens the turnbuckle or something to give her the edge, and that's what gets her to win. She locks in the lockjaw. Once the match is like Britt wins and retains, once the match is over, I think Britt, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel start beating the shit out of Kris Statlander.
Yeah.
And the Iconics come out.
Oh, okay. Now I'm in. I'm invested.
Save Kris Statlander. They
now.
beat down Rebel. They beat down Jamie.
Yeah.
They basically send a message, and then you set up that 3 versus 3 feud.
Yeah.
So you could have the Iconics run through Rebel and Hayter or Britt and Hayter. You could have Kris come back for the championship later with that kind of feud going, where basically she's leading the Iconics. I know she's with the Best Friends, kind of, but she's not. I don't know. Like she comes out with them on occasion. Yeah. So I think that would be a perfect spot to get the Iconics to show up and give her some backup. Maybe they don't team up, but basically they just wanted to make a statement and they both want the belt because there isn't women's tag belts.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a good time to maybe introduce a women's tag team tournament. The Iconics
I like this.
Go in there, go over the next few weeks on Dynamite, build up to the next pay-per-view, and then you announce that you're making the tag team belts, and then you have a few tag teams. You could have Red Velvet and Blue Sky, which is like the one that they were kind of pushing on Dark. You can have Anna Jay and Tay Conte. You can have Riho and Hikaru Shida. You could have
by the way, Holy Shida chant.
Oh,
Like,
oh yeah, that was the first time.
That was the first time.
That's awesome. But yeah, I think that's how you basically introduce your women's division is getting some fucking a boost. You got Ruby Soho that already had debuted previously, if my calculations are correct. So you get that boost, and then you get the Iconics pop, and you build a division that way. But I think Britt has to go over and hold the belt until Thunder Rosa takes it at probably the next pay-per-view.
No, 100%. So I agree with you 100%. Thunder Rosa has to be the one to defeat Britt Baker.
Yeah.
So that's why I said like this is no question Britt Baker's gonna win. I really do like Kris Statlander a lot.
I do too. Yeah.
And I forgot about that move she pulled on Rampage because I didn't watch.
It was
Rampage.
awesome.
I saw the clip. Like
over here and had her under here.
Yeah,
like she was just holding all the weight. I was like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, that was insane.
Thick thighs.
Yeah, and so that was cool. But that being said, like she's not gonna win.
Yeah, I think they'll make her look really strong though, because they have to build off of that, and they also have to get Britt to cheat. Like they have to make it so she's in danger of losing. She's got to cheat, and then we got to get the crowd to boo her again because she's too over, and they want to keep her a heel because she's so good as a heel.
Yeah, no, 100%. I didn't think about that Rampage clip I saw until you explained it. So you're 100% right. Like not a squash match, but I still think it's less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it goes probably under 10.
Yeah,
I'd say, but I think. I think Kris gets more offense than people will think that she's gonna get.
No, now that you like mentioned all that, and I remember all that now. I agree. Like it's gotta be one of those matches where like the face is like doing everything they can, pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, and you're getting near falls, like
yeah, and then finally Britt with interference,
like maybe belt hit to the head or something. Something's gotta be a little sneaky. Ref's backturn. It's gonna be robbery.
Ref gets distracted. Yeah,
it's gonna be Girl Hebner probably reffing.
Dude, and I love your theory of the Iconics debuting them. You have no like I've mentioned like 6 times. I love the Iconics.
Yeah,
I think Billie Kay is the best like face actor in wrestling.
Yeah,
in the last 10 years, like she is so good. Like it doesn't like really revolve around this because this would be like an attack, but like just promos and just general like coming out to the ring. Billie Kay is so fucking good at just facial acting.
For sure. Yeah.
Like over the top wrestling style facial acting. And I really hope they land in AEW. And so I like your theory.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd debut them at All Out, but I'm thinking if you're going to, that's the spot.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Like
and I hope they debut soon. But like, you're right. That is the best spot for them. I said the Battle Royal earlier, but this sounds way better.
Yeah, I think you got to put them into a feud, and you're putting them into a feud with the lead girl on your roster. You know what I mean? Like the lead woman.
Yeah, 100%.
And you kind of have to.
And then Billie Kay can do like her, like just like I said, like just her mannerisms and facial expressions.
Yeah,
are so fucking good. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect in this match.
It'd be cool if like maybe they come out like through the crowd, so you get like the crowd pop like throughout the arena, like kind of like a Jon Moxley entrance, but it's the Iconics.
Yeah,
and then they get to like interact with the crowd and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Billy's, doing
just doing the Iconics like poses and stuff. Break the whole fucking blind.
But no, totally, I'm with you, dude. I know that it's more fun to disagree, but like I love that theory.
Yeah,
I love that theory.
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier because like somebody had mentioned like them debuting at the Royale.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense there. I think
once you named every name and told me there's 20 names, because you know how the Royal Rumble they like announce like 15 guys and that's it.
Yeah.
Once you mentioned like all 20 names, like okay.
Yeah, I was like,
they're not showing up there.
Yeah. I wish AEW would not announce all the names. You know what I mean? Like make it like announce half.
Yeah.
Do like 10 or 12 or something.
Like the Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Just so even if they're not a surprise, they're still kind of a surprise. Like whoever is there, like maybe it's somebody not in the company or Yeah. But I'm not a big fan of that casino style either with the 5 people coming out or whatever.
I agree. Like as much as I love AEW and like I've said like 4 times now, like there are faults.
Yeah.
They have not mastered the Battle Royale.
No, they don't want to take the WWE Battle Royale, you know what I mean?
Which
like
makes
that's
sense. Like you can't copy that, but like WWE nailed it. Like
Yeah, like that's the perfect
like,
battle royale. Like you can't. Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree. Like they can't copy that, so they got to come up with a new thing. But like they just haven't quite figured out their own version of it yet.
I did like the All In, buy-in battle royale, the reverse battle royale where everyone starts out in the ring.
Oh yeah.
And then like everyone just starts out, and then they all get their shit in, and they all get their spots, and like they go out to the outside. And I thought that was pretty cool.
No, that was nice, but like.
But then you missed the surprise pop. Like you don't get that.
The best part of a battle royale is the Royal Rumble version, where like every 90 seconds, you have the countdown.
90 seconds WWE time though.
And a theme. Yeah.
Which is like between 30 to a minute 20. Like
yeah. But it's just perfect, and I get why they can't do that. Like I completely get that, but to give WWE credit, like it's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be something like another match type that they could do that would give you the same kind of reaction.
Yeah,
I just don't know how you would do it.
I don't either. But like
you
gotta have
a gauntlet match where like every 5 minutes, like somebody comes out, like but you only do like 5 people come out, and then you get the pop there.
Yeah, because the funnest part is hearing the theme song.
Yeah, it's like the countdown and everyone going 10, 9, 8.
Yeah. So it's like a group of 5. They don't play a theme song. It's just like, okay, here comes the
it's like here they
Jokers.
Here comes a bunch of losers. Like what?
Yeah,
like,
and then like no music hits, and then they pan to the stage, and then like
you see 5 people walk out, and they're running down to the ring.
Yeah, it's not the same. Like
Billy Gunn and his 12 kids come out.
Yeah,
freakishly large kids.
Yeah, to give it credit, no one's gonna top the battle royales. No one's gonna top the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, like that's the best format. Yeah. What sucks because it'd be, I think AEW could
just completely copy it. I wish they could.
I'd be okay if they did, like if they just called it something else but did the exact same thing. Like I'd be completely okay. Like everyone's like, oh, you're copying WWE. I'd be like, fuck off, it works.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's the best. It's the best route for that kind of match.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've decided that AEW's Battle Royale sucks, let's move on to the next one. What do we got?
Just to get the audience out there that it doesn't exist, but
it will eventually. It will.
It will eventually. That's true.
Yeah.
My girlfriend has called me 3 times. I've ignored all 3 of them.
That's what you're supposed to do. My wife went to bed, so
you're lucky.
She's upstairs. Probably hears me yelling and talking, and she's probably like, "Shut the fuck up!" But I can't hear because I have great headphones.
Yeah. See, I got the long distance thing going, so she's called me 3 times.
That's tough. And you were like, "Hey, I'm talking wrestling." Sorry.
No, I warned her last time. I said, "Hey, tomorrow I'm going to be a guest on a podcast about wrestling. We're going to talk about my experience in Chicago. I might not be able to talk, and that's why I'm mad. She's fucking called me."
Yeah, if you gave her a heads up and she's still calling, I'll call you when I'm done. Like
3 times in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, I'm starting at 8. I have no idea how long this will go.
Yeah, it's been a ride. We've been all over.
Good.
Yeah,
this has been good. I don't know about you, but
it's been therapeutic, lethargic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get this over with so you can call back your girlfriend and tell her never fucking call you again.
Anyways, you're right though. Let's
all right. So we got the steel cage match, which I think is going to be fucking insane, just because of the last 2 matches these guys have had.
This will hands down be the match of the night. Hands down.
It's got to steal the show.
Hands down.
And barring something horribly wrong, like happening, like this is going to be, as long as everything goes smooth and no one breaks their neck, I think this will be the match of the night. I don't the Young Bucks, I don't care. People will get mad if you say this, but like they are the greatest tag team ever. Like that I've ever seen, at least in my generation, because just the way I've heard other tag teams talk about them and the way they've like called matches on the fly that I've heard about, like when the other teams don't know what the hell they're doing, and the way they put together their matches, and like the fact that they're willing to try things that they don't actually want to do, like when they did the Canadian Destroyer off the ladder, like the Bucks didn't want to do it, but they trusted the Lucha Brothers enough to like safely do it, and they did. I think the Lucha Brothers win this.
Dude, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you're right. But carry on.
I could see a good case for the Young Bucks retaining, like a really good case, but I want to say that without the Elite's help, this is the downfall of the Bucks. And I think the Lucha Brothers, they do some crazy shit. They do all their fucking moves off the cage. They do like a fucking destroyer off the top of the cage or something. They're gonna do something like a big spot. It's gonna be insane. Like fuck Shane McMahon and his giant spots. Like this is gonna be insane.
You want to go coast to coast?
Yeah, coast to coast off the cage.
Yeah.
But I think Andrade, if he's gonna be there. He's just not wrestling. You know what I mean? So like I think it comes if he was gonna win the match versus Pac, I think he would come out during this. But now I don't think, since he's not wrestling the match with Pac, I think they save that for a later day where he like goes with the Lucha Brothers and they go with him, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the loss comes when the Bucks are trying to get the Super Elite to come down. And the Super Elite do come down, but they can't get in the cage. And Adam Cole, baby.
I like that.
You like that?
Oh, you think Adam Cole's come back tomorrow too, huh?
I think if there's a spot to put him in, it's got to be the Bucks match.
Oh shit, dude!
I think
he's dead though. They killed him.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like you get a vignette
yeah.
on the screen of like a ghostly like thing, and then like they're in the cage, and like the either they're all out, like they're all down on the ground because they did a big spot or something, or the Lucha Brothers are down and the Young Bucks are up, and they get distracted by the vignette of like a ghost or like something. It has to do something like a seance or something like talking to the dead. Okay. And you hear like a boom, and he fucking comes out, and he comes down, and he tries to help the Bucks.
You mean boom?
Yeah, like a boom.
Yeah.
Whatever theme song he's gonna have, but it has to have that, obviously.
Dude, I hope he has his New Japan song.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
that it's like the 8-bit, like Adam Cole.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
But it sounds like 8-bit.
Yeah, sounds like the old Street Fighter games. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think he comes down, or he comes. Where would he come from? Maybe inside the ring, because the cage is going to be up, and the whole thing is like the Elite can't get in, so like they need someone inside. So like maybe he's under the ring.
Or he could pull like a WWE where he's like a cameraman.
Yeah, that
like full disguise.
Yeah. I don't know, but
no, I don't like that.
I feel like if the Lucha Bros win, then there's got to be something going on with the Elite. But if they lose, then I don't think Adam Cole shows up. You know what I mean? Like if the Bucks win, I don't think Adam Cole's there. But I think if what I want to happen is the Lucha Brothers win. So I think Adam Cole's gotta either cost him or help him, or try to help him and fail, basically. Like that, maybe it looks like the Bucks have won. Adam Cole comes out, helps them. It looks like they've definitely won. Like the fucking match is about to be won. Something goes wrong, and the Lucha Brothers win. Like I don't know. It's gonna be a clusterfuck. It's gotta be.
It's gonna be the match of the night, regardless.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Like I'm looking forward to it so much.
So my end of it, I think the Lucha Bros should win because I think they deserve it. Because I think they're phenomenal.
Yep.
And that's not based on the fact that video I showed you where Rage Phoenix like fucking leaped into the crowd right in front of me. Like I've always thought those guys are the best tag team in wrestling.
Yeah.
Young Bucks, no disrespect to the Young Bucks, like they're amazing. But I think the Lucha Bros deserve the tag team titles more than any tag team in AEW right now. And they haven't had it yet, and I think they deserve it. And back to Adam Cole, based on the huge rumors that Danielson's showing up tomorrow, I think the same thing I was talking about earlier with Punk. You can't, like, as cool as it sounds on paper or in theory, of having both, or like just having a bunch of guys show up in one night, you gotta commit every night to one person. So if Danielson is showing up tomorrow, like we all think he is, I think it's unfair to Adam Cole to have him also show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, like if I think out of all the people that I think are going to show up, I think Danielson is the one that does.
No, 100%. I think that's
like he's the big surprise. You know what I mean? I think
like,
Ruby Riott is probably the other one. The Iconics I don't think are actually going to show up. Like I don't think the Iconics probably don't show up, but if they were, I would put them in the spot that I put them in earlier. And like Adam Cole, like I don't think he's actually going to be there, but if he ever was, that would be the time to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danielson and Ruby Riott, I think, are the two that are actual surprises. And I think the other ones, like the Iconics and Adam Cole, I think you could slot them in down the line on a Dynamite or a big show. Because they have like the New Jersey shows, like 18,000 people too. So like that's another big show. The New York Arthur Ashe one is 20,000 people, and it's like supposed to be like a huge card. Yeah. And then they have their next pay-per-view. Like you could spread them out. Obviously, I would do that. That's like if I was booking. But just for sake of argument, I would say that like those are the spots that I would slot those other people in if they had to debut tonight or tomorrow. Well, technically tonight.
100%. And like it's just one of those things where like it sounds so cool to be like, oh, Ruby Riott's gonna debut, the Iconics are gonna debut, Adam Cole's gonna debut, and Danielson's gonna debut. But like after going to the Punk show, it's like no, like you
gotta have the moment. Yeah,
as cool as that sounds, like you gotta make sure that each one of them have their own moment and night.
Yep.
So like I just feel like if Danielson, which it really sounds like he's gonna be there tomorrow, which I thought he was gonna be at Arsherath or whatever.
Asheroth.
Asheroth, yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. That was like the first thing. It was like the same guy who broke the same guy who broke the Punk news, broke the Danielson news before Punk.
Which was Sean Ross, right?
No, it was Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam. Bodyslam.net.
I thought it was Sean Ross.
No, Sean Ross well, I guess Sean Ross broke the news that CM Punk was in talks. Cassidy Haynes was the one that confirmed that he was going to be at the Rampage show.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he also confirmed before the Punk one that Danielson had signed with AEW and he was going to debut at Arsherath. Or Asheroth? No, I'm confused now. But yeah, he was going to debut at the stadium show, the 20,000 capacity. But now that COVID and the Delta variant are like picking back up, AEW doesn't want to take a chance and miss out on.
Oh, is that why they're pushing it up?
Yeah, so like they want to make sure that like, yes, we're gonna have that huge crowd and everyone's gonna be vaccinated, fine, but they could shut the city down before that happens. And if we were gonna debut Danielson, like we don't want to screw that up, so they're pushing him up, and then they'll probably debut somebody else at the stadium show because Danielson's the one that they really want to get the crowd there.
For sure,
like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like somebody else could debut in front of like half the capacity or whatever, you know what I mean? Or like, or on a Dynamite, and it would still be good. It's just, you want the pay-per-view crowd and you want the publicity for All Out. Because it's CM Punk's first show, you're gonna have the most amount of people watching it. So like,
that's
Danielson,
show,
like you gotta have.
That's the biggest show in wrestling in the last at least 20 years.
Yeah, gotta be.
At least, probably, maybe of all time. Like, would you like back to Punk real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, that was maybe not the loudest initial pop of all time.
Sustained.
But the loudest sustained pop of all
time. Yeah, for sure. Like everyone said
100%.
That. Like even Bully Ray was like on Busted Open was like it was not like the loudest I've heard. He's like probably the Brock Lesnar Becky Lynch pops were louder because there was 20,000 more people. Like it's you know what I mean? There was the crowd was bigger.
Or Legion Stadium.
Yeah. Like the crowd was bigger. It's gonna be louder. No there's you can't take that away. And like I'm sure there's louder and louder pops all the time. But he's like, that was the loudest sustained pop. I've never heard a crowd yelling that loud for that long.
Dude, it was
keeping it up.
25 minutes.
Yeah, just straight.
Dude, I don't think I sent you the last video, but after he finished his promo, it went to commercial again.
Yeah.
I don't think I sent you this video. He's walking back to the ramp And the entire crowd, and I get why AEW didn't like air this because it's Jericho's gimmick.
Yeah.
But it's off the air. He's walking back to the ramp. The entire crowd is singing Cult of Personality.
That's cool.
Singing it, like full blown.
Well, the pop
Including
originally, you couldn't fucking hear it.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, definitely by far the loudest sustained pop
Yeah.
ever. So, but that's why like
So cool.
It sounds cool to like, you know, there's obviously like the most anticipated pay-per-view tomorrow night, All Out AEW. It's gonna be incredible, but I just don't think you can have that many debuts.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Like I said, like Rampage, it's an hour-long show. Everyone went there knowing it's Punk's night.
Yep.
So tomorrow night it's a pay-per-view. It's obviously it's longer, but it's from what it sounds like at least, it's Danielson's night.
Yeah.
You can't have Danielson, Cole, Ruby, the Iconics. You can have two of them.
It's gonna be Danielson's night on Punk's night. That's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you can do Ruby and Danielson, but nothing else.
Yeah, I don't think you could get away with more. But yeah. I just suggested those just to make it more interesting. But,
no, I loved it because like dude, your booking's great.
But like
you should be a writer.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, you get Ruby and Danielson.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's it. Do we have more matches still?
Yeah. So you got the Bucks, right?
I got the Bucks. Yeah.
Okay, and I got the Lucha Bros.
I want the Lucha Bros, but I think it's the Bucks.
Yeah, I think they retain too, but I'm gonna say Lucha Brothers just because I have a hunch that they also like you get every match. I'm like, damn, the champion's just gonna win. Like the Omega match.
That's how it is. That's why this company's great because it's like they're not gonna just like change belts for the sake of changing belts.
Yeah,
like WWE does, you know.
So we got Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW World Championship, which everyone was debating. Yeah, everyone was debating whether this should go on last or the Punk match should go on last, and I'm 100% for the Punk match going on last. Like you can't. I don't care what title's on the line.
It's in Chicago.
Yeah.
You Punk has to go last. You have to.
Yeah, there's no way.
I know that like that's something that Punk complained about a lot in WWE. Was that when he was champion, his match isn't going last. But at the same time, it's like in this situation, you can't not have Punk go last. You have to.
Yeah, because you can't like if the for some reason I don't think it will, but if the Kenny Omega and Christian Cage match doesn't hit and you put that on last, then that's the last thing the crowd remembers when they leave that stadium. You know what I mean?
And it's in Chicago.
Like, yeah, so you got to put Punk on last, give them the big pop, give him the good go home.
Is to see Punk wrestle his first match in 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
It didn't matter what matches you put before the card. Like Punk had to go on last.
Dude, it could be fucking The Rock versus Ric Flair.
Yeah, you could put them on first and no one would give a shit.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, I'm going to go with the obvious Kenny Omega. He's got because Christian's got the Impact belt.
Dude, I didn't notice until like because I've been so busy. I didn't notice that Kenny dyed his hair like
dyed his hair jet black last week. Yeah, I don't know why he did it, but it reminds me of the old cleaner gimmick.
Yeah,
like he had like the blonde highlights with jet black hair, but he just has straight jet black hair. Like he's.
I love it, dude. It's like it's the perfect heel move.
Obnoxious, like
yeah.
Cody tried it, but didn't work.
He tried it for 1 week.
Yeah, everyone's like, "What's he supposed to be?" Like,
was
no one got it.
Was that the same week he debuted his like dumb neck tattoo?
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, everyone was like, "Wait a minute, he's having a midlife crisis." Jesus. But yeah, Kenny's got to win this. I think Don Callis has grown on me so much. I used to hate him. I think he's fucking fantastic now.
He's good, dude. You gotta watch.
He makes me hate him.
Shit.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me that. Like they're like, yeah, you gotta check it out. He was great. But that vignette of like the Don basically firing Christian
in like Winnipeg or whatever.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fantastic. That story. No. This makes me want to see this match even more. Like
yeah, because I wasn't sold on this, and then I watched the Road to Dynamite.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they had that, and I was like, oh my god, this is long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
At its best.
Yeah, like
I
literally
just
20
sorry, I
years
just,
ago.
like spit all over my
Ah,
screen.
don't worry, I didn't feel it.
That's good. Hopefully you're
uh,
wearing a face mask.
yeah. But yeah, I that was so good. Have you seen the countdown to All Out? You watch it? It was on after Rampage last night, so
Oh no.
it's on YouTube. The extended edition's on YouTube. Please
Okay.
watch that after we get off
No,
of
I will
this.
for sure. Dude,
It
I
is
got like 4 links I gotta send
it
you too.
is
So.
yeah, send them over.
Yeah.
The countdown, there's a sit down interview with Punk, and it's like the first 15, 20
shit.
minutes, and it is him and JR, and they're just talking.
Oh no, I heard about it. Yeah.
It is so goddamn good. And then the end
Okay.
is like Punk is talking with him again, and he tells a story about Eddie Guerrero, and I literally almost teared up. It was so good.
Yeah, dude,
like,
I saw like the Reddit headlines of like CM Punk talks about Eddie, CM Punk sits down with JR. I saw that, but I didn't watch any of it.
And they also do a good
Busy
job of
day.
like building the other matches too. But like those two sit downs were like, television at its finest. But now I'm completely invested.
I'll for sure check it out, dude. I seriously, I've worked so much this week.
Yeah.
When I joined the Discord tonight to do this, was like the second I came home from work, and I'd been there since 8.
Yeah.
So like, I had no time to do like anything else. But I saw those threads, and so I'll check them out for sure.
Yeah, definitely do it before the pay-per-view tomorrow. Definitely do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're both in agreement Kenny's gonna win that. Like,
oh yeah, no, this one's easy.
Okay, we'll go on to CM Punk and Darby Allin.
Christian Cage is taking the title off Kenny.
No, not anytime soon.
This one's also easy, but it's interesting because of how it will play out after.
Yeah, I've heard cases for both, which both made sense, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, you could have Darby go over because that's Punk's thing, is like he's given the younger guys a shot.
There's no way. There's no way.
Well, so if you watch the sit-down interview, that with JR, he mentions the story about Eddie and how Eddie one time like went into this indie. He was the Intercontinental Champion in WWE, and he went to this indie and he wrestled Punk. And they were
like 03, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to go over. Obviously, Eddie was going to win. Punk was going to get squashed. Eddie told Punk, he's like, let's do a 30-minute time limit. And so they do the 30-minute time limit. And at the end of the time limit, like, Eddie cuts a promo and basically says, like, you're good, whatever. One of these days you're going to be up here doing this, blah, blah, blah. But I can't go out on a draw. And he's like, get 5 more minutes. We're going to finish this. Okay. So, and Punk was, like, not expecting this. Like, this was not planned, you know what I mean? And, like, so Eddie...
Okay, so this is shoot.
Yeah, this is like shoot, and they lock up, and Eddie whispers to Punk, he's like, "Hey, sorry, Punky, I got a frog splash you," and they they beat the hell out of each other. He goes up, frog splashes him and pins him and wins it right there. And Punk was like, "That was the greatest thing ever. Like that guy let me go 30 minutes, like time limit to make me." He's like, he basically did it because Punk was gonna stay there in the Indies, and Eddie was leaving. So like, why does Eddie need to look good? You know what I mean? Sure, so he put Punk over, and he's like, I wish I had somebody do that for me. So the fact that he said that in that interview at the end makes me think
that's great.
He could mirror that and be the Eddie, Eddie for Darby. So they go 30-minute time limit. Then he cuts a promo. They do 5 more, and Punk goes over.
Wow, that'd be nuts.
Like the exact same situation, like just history repeating itself.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience would get it because they would have watched the countdown and they would have seen what he had talked about.
Chicago crowd.
Like, and it would be a great moment. Yeah. Like just because they would know, like, hey, this is a shout out to Eddie Guerrero, and Punk's going over, so he gets the pop, and Darby looks good because they go 30 minutes.
I love that. That's great because, like, especially if any crowd. A Chicago crowd will get that and appreciate that.
Yeah. Like AEW crowds are great anyway, but yeah, definitely a Chicago crowd is gonna understand.
Chicago's the top 3 wrestling crowd in the country.
Yeah.
You got like Chicago, New York, and I don't even know what would be third. Florida, I guess.
Florida, Georgia, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere in the south. No, I like that a lot. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I feel like this definitely leads to a tag team, though.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Well, Punk did say in an interview he wants him and Danielson versus the Young Bucks.
No, he said someone, and he can't talk about until
tomorrow. Yeah. Which I was like, fuck
Danielson, yeah.
I would pay good money to see that.
Dude, I can't believe, dude. Off topic, I can't believe they got Punk and Danielson
in like the same like the same time frame. Like, what is WWE doing?
Yeah,
like they could have had Punk. Like Punk admitted, like I could have went back.
He said if they offered, he said he wanted to do either a good story or get
a big bag of money, and then he told them not to play games. And the first time they contacted him, they started playing games, and he was like, "Okay, have a good day."
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
it's crazy that they're gonna both like. This is seriously like.
This has never happened.
Legitimately WCW '96 again.
Yeah,
like, it's all over again.
It's insane because
except with better ownership.
Yeah, with better backing and like and a network that actually gives a shit. Like
TNT was TNT too. But...
Well, TNT, different ownership there that actually cares. Ted Turner just wanted to beat Vince. He didn't give a fuck about anything else. He just wanted to beat Vince. He even called him and told him that.
Do you know how sick I am of hearing that quote in WWE Pro documentaries going, Ted Turner called me and he said, I'm in the wrestling business.
I'm in the wrestling business.
And I said, that's good for you. I'm not in the wrestling business. I'm in the entertainment business. I'm so sick of that.
That was the downfall. That was the downfall of WWE, that quote.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's why AEW is not competition. They are an alternative. They are a completely different product from WWE.
That's what like bugs me about like the Punk return. People were hoping that it would be like Punk and someone else. And then tomorrow night people are hoping it's Danielson, someone else.
Yeah.
But really it's like, dude, they have so many guys that they obviously are going to sign. You know, Wyatt, Ruby, Adam Cole, Iconics. Like obviously all four of them are going there.
Yeah.
As fun as it would be to have them all like show up at once. Like, dude, they've got like the next 3 months just booked.
Yeah.
Like they can do like one every other week and it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, like I'm September is going to be a fucking hell of a month.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
Like, and they have all their biggest shows, and then like this pay-per-view is happening, right? And we have like this match, and we have like all the other great matches on the card. This is a great card up and down. The biggest story in AEW isn't even happening on this card, and it hasn't been happening. Like Hangman's not even.
Oh, dude, I forgot.
They're one of their biggest, like, upcoming, future, bright, biggest stars, dude. Like,
which, dude? Okay, yeah, they have played the Hangman card so perfectly.
It's beautiful the way that storyline goes.
Yeah, no, it's incredible because like the first few shows they did before Dynamite debuted, Hangman was booked in the way that you assumed he was gonna be Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And then he wasn't. And it would have been so bad if Hangman was like the initial guy. It would have ruined his career.
Yeah.
But instead they told this story, Dark Order, everything, you know, the alcohol.
The losing, the alcohol, the breaking up with the Elite, the storyline where he's trying to find his place. He gets back with the Dark Order. He becomes their friends. Then he's like, I got to do this on my own. And then.
Dude, did you see when like his last appearance before he had his kid born? When he left the Dark Order, but then he left behind a CD.
Yeah, he left a CD, and it was their porn movie.
Yeah,
but it was like a thank you, basically.
It's just such good storytelling.
Yeah, like so good.
Like when I never liked Hangman. Like even watching like Wrestle Kingdom back in the day when he was there.
Yeah,
I never liked him or got him or anything. And then so when like he immediately was like pushed in AEW at the start, where it's like he's gonna, you know, he's in the number one contender match against Jericho.
He's gonna be the guy to beat Jericho and win the belt.
Fuck! I was like, I was not into that. And then he lost, and then next thing I knew, he had the best storyline in wrestling.
Yeah, from losing. Like that's how you do it. Like WWE, if they lose, like all right, well, like
he's gonna be dancing the next week. You know?
yeah, like what they do to Karrion Kross, what I was reading about, that they like put him in like a shredder mask.
He lost to Jeff Hardy.
Lost to Jeff Hardy. His career's gone so far downhill from there. I'm like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, so
but no,
good.
they fucking murdered it with him.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for him to come back. That's why, like,
his pop when he comes back is gonna be huge.
Oh, massive.
And then he's gonna go on the run of his life. Yeah, he's gonna go on the run of his life to beat Kenny Omega. And then he's gonna be he's gotta be the guy that kicks out of the One Winged Angel. And the fucking pop that he gets for that is gonna be insane.
Exactly, dude. Like, when we were talking about the Kenny Christian match, it's like, yeah, Kenny's gonna win, but it's like, it's not a bad thing that we know that.
Yeah.
We know that because we know there's better things coming, which is Hangman's gonna come back. Hangman's, and I know AEW's not stupid. They know this too. Hangman's got to be the one to take the belt off Kenny.
Yep.
100%. There's no one else that can do it.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm excited that it's gonna. Like, I know what the ending is, but I want to see how he gets there.
Yeah, and I thought it was gonna be this pay-per-view tomorrow. All Out.
Yeah,
tomorrow
I did.
Night,
you asked
Sunday,
me
5 p.m.
you asked me a month ago. I would have told you that Hangman was gonna live on pay-per-view. Like I would have told you Hangman was gonna beat Kenny and he was gonna face him. But after 100%. They announced the Christian Kenny match, and I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, I'm not excited. And then they had the match for the Impact title, and they put on a banger.
That made it.
They put on a banger of a match, and I was like, all right, I'm down. Like, I'll watch them go again. Like, for sure.
That made the match because even though, like, obviously Kenny's gonna win, but that match proved, like, okay, Christian can beat Kenny.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna do in the ring together. Like, maybe Christian's a little slow. No, he didn't miss a step. Like, it was great.
And then he beat him, and so it's like now
you're like, oh, there's
obviously it's all fiction, but like
now you're like, oh, there's a chance.
You're like, oh, Christian does have the ability to beat.
He's
Kenny.
like one of the only people. I think he's the only person to beat Kenny.
It's their heel, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so since the heel turn. Yeah, Kenny is a face. That was kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, he was a face for a while.
Yeah, like the Pac matches, him and Pac.
Yeah, that's what was funny too. Is like when AEW first started, and like the Bucks and Kenny, like weren't dominating. People were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they're like, "Go back to being heels, like Bullet Club."
Yeah,
and like why they were playing everybody.
Matches? Like, you're building up the rest of the roster.
Yeah, you got to make sure that all the other people are good, and then you can go into your like being assholes and stuff. But you got to stand up for the other guys.
I could be wrong, but I think I heard that too. That like Kenny in like a non-shoot interview, they were like, why'd you guys like go so extreme with like the Miami Vice 80s style heel? And he was like, because we're the top people in this company and we want people to hate us. So we can't be the top people in this company doing things that make people like us, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we got to go so extreme that they know who we are and they know they don't like it, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we just got to be obnoxious and annoying. And they've done it so well.
Yeah, it works. Like, I don't know. They made it work, and I think it's great. And like, I can't picture them turning face right now, like, at all.
For a while.
But they're gonna turn face when the Elite gets back together. Like, they gotta do the redemption storyline. They gotta get Cody back involved. They gotta get Hangman. They gotta all come back together, and you know what I mean. Eventually, it'll be slow.
It'll be just like what's Jericho's group called? What's Jericho's group called? I can't remember.
Inner Circle.
Yeah, it'll be like that. I feel like.
Yeah.
When they turn face.
Yeah.
And that's also why I think Jericho is going to lose and retire and go to WWE in a few months. Because I feel like they've kind of separated Jericho from the Inner Circle.
Yeah, that's true. So. Yeah. The whole Inner Circle hasn't really been a thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sammy's been on his own. They Proud and Powerful have been on their own. Jake Hager, haven't seen him.
Yeah, I haven't seen that guy in months.
Yeah.
And so I meant to mention that earlier, but I feel like that's another reason why my theory, or why I think my theory is true.
Yeah.
Is I feel like they've done a good job of like kind of like branching them off. Because like Sammy's teaming with what? Fuego del Sol now?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing a few shows together.
And like Proud and Powerful's doing their thing. Jack Hager's probably fucking at a a Sturgis no mask
Sturgis rally, yeah, with this weird wife.
And so like just like based on all that, I feel like they've done a good job. And I hope I'm wrong because I love Jericho being on screen. I just don't like watching him wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
but I feel like they've done a good job of like having the inner circle kind of separate without breaking them up.
Yeah, like there was no big breakup. They just kind of drifted apart, which is like I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I like that they did it as faces.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the card. That's the All Out card. That's every single match. Our predictions. I'll probably make a like a Instagram post with like my picks and your picks, just so we can compare. After the show.
Part is we agreed on like 3/4 of the matches.
Yeah, it's fine though. I mean, those like two that I picked, they're gonna make me beat you because
dude, if the Iconics debut in that tag team or in that women's match you're talking about, dude, I'll bet you $10.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm hella looking forward to fucking this card tomorrow.
This is the most anticipated pay-per-view, at least in my opinion, in 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
20 years. Yeah, this is gonna be huge.
100%.
Every match other than QT, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I feel like they have something planned for that though. I don't think it's gonna be what people think.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. But every other match besides that, it's gonna be a banger. And
what if Ric Flair comes out and beats the fuck out of QT Marshall?
Dude, did you see that picture of him eating that chick on the train?
That was so good. Everyone, it was literally there. Everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, I saw Ric Flair was trending. Oops!" And like, it's like the fucking like, oh, like what the fuck happened face.
And then Flair was like, "There's two things I don't do.
Yeah, I don't take trains.
I don't take trains."
It's like, what a legend.
Yeah, I've heard that when that Dark Side documentary comes out, the plane ride, his legacy is going to be severely tarnished, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the shitty part, Ric Flair. He's so legendary.
Yeah, but
like it sounds like he did a lot of real shitty things.
Yeah, he was such a piece of shit behind the scenes. Well, like, understandable because everyone was doing shitty things behind the scenes back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was a different era. Like,
no, for sure. It was the cocaine era.
Yeah, the best era.
Yeah,
steroids and cocaine. Nothing wrong with that.
I would have like my dream would be to be a professional wrestler in the 80s.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
they lived the dream.
Lived the rock star life.
Yeah, that's like what my non-wrestling friends always say. They're like, "Dude, these guys are rock stars."
Yeah,
they just go and pretend to beat each other up, and they just fucking party.
Go from town to town partying. Yeah, it'd be fucking great.
Yeah.
Like nomads.
Last thing I wanted to say, because I feel like we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
My favorite troll on Twitch that I mentioned before we started.
I'm curious.
I've been doing this for years. So when the WWE Network first started, I had a Twitch account that was just Paul Heyman, like straight up.
Yeah.
It's just Paul Heyman, like no underscores or letters or anything. And I would say like, hey, I just go into random channel. Like I purposely would go into channels that had like 20 viewers or less.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, hey, do you think John Cena can defeat Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell live this Sunday in Chicago on pay-per-view, live on the WWE Network for only $9.99 a month?
Yeah.
And so I brought that back the other night because I was bored. And this is on my Combone account, but it's not the same thing. But hey, do you think CM Punk can defeat Darby Allin in Chicago live on pay-per-view at AEW All Out live this Sunday, 6/5 Central?
Yes.
And the reactions are so funny. They're so funny. Because you either get the people that are like,
what are you talking about?
What the fuck are you? Yeah, what are you saying? I don't understand this. And this is why I feel like I should get paid by AEW. Because I had like 3 or 4 channels, whereas the guy that was like, wait, CM Punk's back? I haven't watched wrestling in like 6 years.
Oh shit!
I literally had this one dude. He was like, "Wait, CM Punk? Are you talking about wrestling? CM Punk's wrestling?"
Yeah.
I didn't know he was back. And then I would go away from trolling, like, "Yeah, dude, he's back.
Yeah.
And he's all elite."
Give him the 411 on CM Punk.
Yeah. And dude, there was this one guy last night. He watched all of his like every single Punk return video
Yeah.
that existed, and he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna order this." He's like, "Dude, I loved wrestling back in the
Hell
day, like
yeah.
back when Punk was into it and shit. I had no idea he was back. Like, thanks, dude." And
That's
like watched all this
awesome.
shit. And was like, "Dude, this is dope." And
I've
he's
heard
like,
of
"Dude, go ahead."
no, I was gonna say I've heard of a lot of people that like didn't watch wrestling that are gonna order this pay-per-view. Like that haven't and since Punk was a thing. Like
Yeah.
CM
No,
Punk's still
yeah.
a household name.
No, he is 100%. And but yeah, it was just fun. Like I love doing that troll just because the reactions are so funny. If you're
Yeah.
ever bored, dude,
I'll
you're
go
married,
into
so
go
you're
into
busier
Twitch
than
channels.
you're busier than I am when you're bored. But yeah, I just go on Twitch channels and I just like I try to write it like it's an advertisement. Like I work for AEW, you know.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
hey, what do you think? And but yeah, this dude fucking lost his mind and like watched everything, and was I can't remember his name. I'd give him a shout out, but and he was like, dude, I'm ordering this. Like I'm in.
You should
He's like, thank you. Like I haven't watched wrestling in years. I had no idea this happened. Like this is sick.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
should record yourself doing that.
Dude, I've been wanting to. That's the
Like
plan.
that could be a series right there. Just like
Yeah.
go in for a few hours a night and like mess with people
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, have you heard that live
Yeah,
on
just-
pay-per-view?"
Just random Twitch accounts.
Cut
Dude,
promos.
that's the most like away from this troll. The most
Yeah.
underrated thing to do in general is find Twitch channels that have like 1 to 20 viewers.
Yeah.
You find gems, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
I
incredible.
when I first started streaming like 2 years ago or so, I just to like get a feel for like what I was supposed to be doing, I would go in and like look at people that had like I only had like a couple followers, and
Yeah.
I would just go into channels that had like double or triple or quadruple the amount that I had, like lower streaming numbers, but like see what they were doing and like talk to them and like see like, hey, how long have you been streaming? What do you blah blah blah? And like I found so many good Twitch channels, like just cool people that like I was like, hell yeah. But
oh, that's the same for me, dude. The best Twitch people I found was like through you, actually.
oh yeah.
To S your D for a second, like all your buddies that stream. I love all those guys. Like I went to what's his name? He's not streaming right now.
What, Ben Byler, Gonzo.
Gonzo. No, not Gonzo. He shaved his head.
Shin Gonzala? Is that his shaved his head?
He's part of what's your military channel?
Frost Call?
Yeah.
Oh, Corey.
Guy. Yeah, well, yeah, it was Corey. Yeah. It was Corey. Like I love that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. And like I've been out of the Twitch game for a while, but like I've been like recently like going back into like those chats.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, you had a great community.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. When I could stream all the time.
You quit. I quit too, but like I'm bummed you quit because I was like, I liked all the guys that like were around your channel, you know?
Yeah, my goal is to do it not as often, but definitely do that again. But I'm gonna be streaming on YouTube and not Twitch because Twitch seems to be having some issues right now.
I'm curious about that. What are those issues?
So like people have been like hate rating people and like Twitch isn't doing anything about it. There's also the DMCA issues. You can't like play any music or any you know what I mean? And then your account's banned.
I used to just like play music the whole time. Yeah.
Well, YouTube, you can play music as long as you're not going to monetize it. You know what I mean? Like I don't when I'm starting out, I don't give a shit about monetizing.
Yeah, you just want donos.
Yeah, so like okay, like go ahead and don't monetize me. Like obviously some people could put a strike against your channel, but if you're small enough, no one's going to give a shit. So like right now I'm playing live. I'm playing the AEW playlist on Spotify. This is all the AEW themes in the background. Yeah, you'll hear it on the watch back, but yeah, it's in the background. Like I just listened to Ricky Stark's theme while we were talking. Like I'm not gonna I'll get a strike if anything, but my channel's not gonna get banned or anything. Or the person who owns the music will take out ads against my YouTube video. So like that just means I can't monetize. But like YouTube has that down, like the DMCA, and like if I play 30 seconds of a song, I'm still not going to get banned because the DMCA doesn't kick in until after that. So like Twitch hasn't figured out their system yet, and it's going to take them years to put in place something that'll fix it. And also like Dr. Lupo just left Twitch to go to YouTube yesterday or 2 days ago. Tim the Tatman left Twitch to go to YouTube. I believe Summit's in talks to go to YouTube. There's like all these big name streamers are leaving because YouTube has better discoverability because you can put short form content, long form content. It's a search engine. There's more videos.
Yeah.
You can search by genre. Like on Twitch, you have clips that don't really work. That actually everyone had to delete because of the DMCA issues. So like all the old clips are gone. And then the clips that you do have, if you have any DMCA material, you have to get rid of. You can't browse them by like game type or anything. You have to go to the person's channel and like look. There's no discoverability on Twitch. So like a lot of people are leaving Twitch, and it's costing Amazon money, which is a big thing. So once YouTube starts overtaking Twitch, Amazon, knowing how big of a company they are, they're gonna cut ties and sell it, or just get rid of the whole fucking thing and shut it down because it's not worth it to them. YouTube, their streaming platform, is tied into their video making platform, and they make all their money off the people making videos and advertisements. So they want more people streaming, making videos, like making content. Like that's all they want. And they want it to be out there for people to browse. So like you can get discovered easier. It's easier to find channels. It's easier to find content related to your content.
Yeah.
And like it has a good algorithm where like if your content is good and you get likes and subscribers, like if your video does well, you get a lot of views, it doesn't matter. But if people like the video or find it useful and they use it and they watch it, and they subscribe to your channel because of the video, then your channel gets boosted because it's a useful video. They want more people watching. What they don't want is people sleeping. You know what I mean? Like they want people awake all the time watching YouTube. Like that's what they want. So like YouTube is a cycle of that. That's why you have that's how you get in like the YouTube black hole where you're like on YouTube and you find like some like anteater having sex with a giraffe or something. And you're like, how the fuck did I find this video? Like it's because YouTube knows that you're going to watch that if they put it in front of your face. Twitch doesn't do that. So that's
that. Yeah, because I haven't streamed probably since you have.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I stopped like last March.
Yeah.
And it was because I won't get into it, but someone that I know found it. And I talked about them.
Fuck them. Like, who cares? I talk about people all the time. Like, if you don't like it,
it was bad. I'll tell you off air, but it was
worth it.
Bad. It was bad. And so ever since then, I haven't streamed. Just like this fucking random person that I know found this and saw me talking about a situation that we had together.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Can't win them all.
No, you're right. But, anyways, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. So tomorrow night.
I apologize that you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's all right. It's 2 a.m. My wife's gonna be pissed, but it's fine. I'll just get to bed and then wake up and watch the pay-per-view. So
there we go.
Yeah, I have to paint tomorrow too because I'm trying to redo my kitchen.
Okay.
We bought a house, so.
I remember you told me that. Yeah.
It's been a work in progress, but it's a lot of work for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do this again. Definitely.
No, for sure. I love this. I thought this was a blast.
Yeah, I'm down to do this again for either other big shows or like recaps when something interesting happens. Just talk shop.
Even just like a shorter, obviously, because this was like
this is like 4 hours. I'll probably chop it up and like put it into different sections.
Fine. That's fine. But like even just like a weekly, like maybe like 1 hour, just
just talk about the week in wrestling or like whatever we want to talk about. Yeah, I'm down for sure.
Cool. I thought this was great.
Yeah. So everyone watch All Out tomorrow or later tonight.
Yes.
I'll be watching. I'm contemplating doing live reaction. Just because like the Daniels spot is going to be.
Do it, dude. Honestly,
you think? I think I might. I think I might just sit here.
I'll tune in.
Some beers, popcorn.
Yeah.
So I can watch it. But
no, that'd be sick. I'll be there if you do it.
Yeah. So if anyone's gonna watch this, 4 hours in, but be on the lookout for live reactions tomorrow probably. At some point I'll figure it out. Hopefully the stream gets up a little better. But yeah, it was awesome, dude.
Yeah, this is fun.
Thanks.
I didn't think it would go this well.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Definitely looking forward to talking wrestling with you. Probably we'll do it next week.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
Saturday nights.